Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to your monthly edition of some wrestling news, reviews, predictions, all that good jazz. The Gimmick. I'm the Canadian Nightmare, as always, and I'm joined by another man that has a similar nickname. He's live from the Codyverse, I see.
Live from the Codyverse, man, David, how's it going, guys?
And then finally, Geek versus Guy in the chair.
It's us Bubs here. I had a lot of good nicknames thinking about it, this whole month, but after last night, I had to go with Work Shoot Brother.
Oh yeah, even though it's not wrestling, it felt like wrestling. So I didn't watch the full thing. Also, we're talking about if people, whenever you're listening to this, about the Tyson Paul thing, and I learned this the hard way. Where I don't know, David might know because I suppose you were maybe younger. What came? Was it Pacquiao and Mayweather that came first, or Mayweather and McGregor that came first when they did their fight?
Pacquiao and Mayweather came
Okay,
first.
but and the bat, and I don't think this fight was this, but there was something at least in the McGregor fight. I think that came out where it's like for each round they win, they got paid more and more, and that's it's like, oh well, this is nothing. And watching those two fights from like professional fighters and them being like kind of disappointing, I knew this would be it. But like at least the internet provides some good memes along the way. You know, like Mike Tyson's ass cheeks are everywhere this morning. So like, and I don't know who could do it, but I feel like if BT was still around, that would have been the perfect thing for someone to do. Because I don't think maybe someone on Netflix or Raw, you know, solo get Rock to do it. Oh, Rock doing it would be great because he's shown his cheeks before. But yeah, no, that's why I love real sports. But you know, all I saw on my timeline was a bunch of people being like, "Man, what a waste of time." And of course, sometimes wrestling can be a waste of time, but majority in those big situations, you know, usually they try and make you happy or at least somewhat emotionally
I
attached.
saw in
So.
those. I haven't been scammed this bad by a main event in AT&T Stadium since WrestleMania 32.
Oh yeah, I was there. That was one where thank God we went to the NXT when they were doing their takeovers and they were like the S tier. Every takeover was great because yeah, we went there. It was me, Emily, and my sister, and all of us were like, man, like it was never a waste being at a WrestleMania, but it did feel like, geez, that was that was something. And yeah, that main event, it was very odd. Triple H wanted to work a very slow style. The fact that Triple H was even in the main event, but I digress. But, you know, we'll talk about Triple H because I'm sure, you know, at Survivor Series, it's going to open up with Big Pop H coming out. But yeah, what we got on the docket today, we're going to do a draft shakeup because we got. Is this our last one or are we doing one more before
We had
Chamber?
a Rumble one planned, but I don't really
Right.
know if like
Because that's
I figured
February.
out a way to do it even if you weren't here. I have a possible plan for it,
I could always
but we
call in
can
for that
skip
segment
it.
too.
Yeah.
I could always call in for that. So I can
Okay.
radio from the twins room. So yeah, no. Let's say we do it. And worst case
Okay.
too, if I want to make no switches, then I'll just say, oh, I don't need any switches done because
Yeah.
around Rumble time. But I think it's worth doing because if one of us has a top pick but there's an injury, I think it's before
hmm
like WrestleMania season. Because if people don't know, we're doing our draft, but we're ending Elimination Chambers the last night, right? I think that's
I
of our.
think I forget if we agreed
Yes.
Elimination Chamber or before Elimination Chamber.
Okay,
I
we'll take.
Elimination Chamber, I
I
thought.
think it's
Okay.
Chamber because we didn't do it last year, right? We did it before Mania, so yeah, we always do it right before Mania.
Okay.
So yeah, well, yeah,
Because yeah,
let's.
it's pretty much at the point where we kind of know like what WrestleMania is.
Right. Yes. Okay. So yeah, we'll do that. That'll probably be our pre one. So yeah, no, I will be. Obviously, if people listen to Geek First, I will be gone for a little bit, just a couple episodes of the Gimmick. But by Rumble, that's the plan to be back for that because I want
Mhm.
to see be on that show. But yeah, so you got a couple episodes of David S. Bubs holding it down, the 2-man power trip. You know, don't kill it. Don't destroy the show. You know, no, I trust you guys. But
Implode.
yeah, exactly. The mega powers implode. But yeah. So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna do our second draft shakeup where we can drop some people, pick up some people, maybe some
I think
trades,
our
etc.
oh yeah, second, yeah. I
Yeah,
was
because we did one
thinking,
at
yeah.
SummerSlam ish, I think, right?
I think no, it's Money in the Bank. Yeah.
Right. Yes, right. Because you tried that Tiffany trade, and I was happy I didn't because I was like, I
Yeah.
think she's winning that
And
briefcase,
good,
but I
you
almost took
mentioned,
it.
but yeah, before we went live, we were talking about like not mentioning stuff to take away. That's the only reason you have Tiffany, because I mentioned the rumor
Yep.
was they were planning WrestleMania for Minnesota, and I said it earlier, and then you took her. I was
Yeah,
so mad.
I'm happy. And did WrestleMania they get that Minnesota, right?
No,
They're not.
they
No.
got
Oh,
they got like
right.
SummerSlam in like 2 years.
Right. It was that rumor that they supposedly like, yeah, we'll do WrestleMania with you, and then they announced a different city. And Minnesota was like, what? And they're like, oh, but you get a 2-night SummerSlam. You'll be happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna talk about Survivor Series predictions. I know there's some Raw stuff that's taped, so anything that's spoilers, we're probably gonna cover, but we'll put it at the back half of the predictions, and we will give you a warning.
Yeah.
But I think if you're listening to the show, you've probably seen the spoilers. And then yeah, we're gonna do our top 10 themes, so everyone has that. We're gonna talk about the Women's U.S. Championship tournament. We'll talk about Saturday Night Main Event, and then we'll do AEW Full Gear, and then anything else that comes up. So, S Bubs, you want to give us the current standings of the roster?
Yes.
And then we'll go
Oh, I
over
actually
who I
haven't
have.
done SmackDown yet from
That's
last night,
okay.
but I can just look at it and see if there's any major. I don't think it's like
No, because
that
Nia,
big.
unless someone, I did have Nia, so I got
I
some
can I
points
can
there.
speed through this. There's only
Okay,
like four
what I can do
matches,
is I
so
can read the list of
just talk
the
for a
current
little bit. Yeah.
rosters. Yeah. So right now, SBUB's current roster, Bastard has Cody Rhodes. We'll get into the whole Cody thing. I'm not happy about him being, I think, pushed aside. We'll get there. But at least for the point system, I'm happy for SBUBs that Cody Rhodes might take a couple non-main events, but even Crown Jewel got. But right now, SBUBs currently has Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Bailey, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, Johnny Gargano, Io Sky, Lyra Valkyria, Andrade, and Chelsea Green. I'm glad I remember about Andrade because like I might pick him up, but no, you got him unless you
Okay,
drop him.
I'm
We'll
I'm
see.
done. There are only four matches. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. And then my current roster is Rhea Ripley, Seth Rollins. So just people that continually fucking get injured. It's just great as my top two picks. Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton, Jay Uso, Braun Breaker, Liv Morgan, Carmelo Hayes, Nia Jax, and Solo Sokola. And then David, you got Gunther, Bianca Belair, Damian Priest, Tama Tonga, Uncle Howdy, LA Knight, Jacob Fatu, Finn Balor, R-Truth, and Kofi Kingston. And then who's all in our... I think the only thing I don't have on this list is who's our
The
jobber
jobbers.
picks. Yeah.
I have Tozawa.
Right.
Travis has Elton Prince.
Yeah, right.
And David has Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods is like a weird pick because you'll get it's literally 1 week he wins and 1 week he
Yeah.
loses. So you get 2 -1, 2 -1, 2 -1, 2 -1. But I guess you could say that's a good pick since he's still losing like more than Elton Prince and Tozawa.
Yeah, I need to...
He's at least on TV. He's at least on TV.
Yeah,
I wonder
there's-
if I was wondering. I didn't know if it was gonna happen or not. But if they had like won this tournament and like won the tag titles, what's the demotion here? Is that like a -10 for your jobber winning
Yeah,
a
he's doing
title?
too good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it could still happen. So yeah, we'll see. I've been trying to find somebody, but I've not found like the perfect person. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, what's the point values at right now as Bub's going into Survivor
let me
Series?
go through here. So I am at 364 normal points with 339 bonus points. Travis has 433 normal points with 200 bonus points.
Okay.
And David is at 319 normal points with 253 bonus points.
What bonus points did you have, Dave? I feel like you were lower a couple last month we did this, so a couple of your guys and gals are having a couple good months there. But
I think it was Crown Jewel. You had like the pay-per-view main event, and I think you had both weekly main events. I'm not sure for who, but you have 30 bonus points from that week.
there you go.
Gunther
Okay.
has
So,
definitely helped me a lot in some
Oh yeah, I
situations.
think it was Gunther. Yeah.
yeah, it feels like the gap's close because that's supposed definitely for the first few months we're running away with it. Obviously, you're still ahead, but it feels like a couple big events, a Rumble win, a cash in, it can all change and everything like that. So yeah, we'll see. So I can't remember. Did we have? I know we did like a wheel or something last time. Did we have?
And he
who
spun
went
the
last
wheel,
time?
and we ended up getting the same order, but you can spin it again if you
Who?
want.
Because who? What was it? The order?
I think
that you
it's
picked?
in the order I have. I think it's me, Travis, David. I
Okay, we'll
have
go
it,
with that
yeah.
order because we did the wheel last time. So so we'll go. It's round by round. So S Bubs, is there anyone you're wanting to drop from your roster currently?
I think I'm gonna drop. I have it all highlighted and stuff because there's some I'm considering.
Mhm.
I think I'm gonna drop. Let's go. Well, we're doing the other draft, so that's kind of. I was sort of thinking if we weren't gonna do it, but I guess I could technically pick these up again if no one
Yep, you could.
picks
Yep.
them. So I think I'm gonna drop 4 people.
4 people. Okay, we'll start.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. I'm
I guess you could just
dropping.
drop them all. Yeah. So who you
Let
dropping?
me just write them down so I remember who I dropped.
Okay.
I'm gonna write it down over here. Because I did that last time just so we could see the points. Like, oh, who were these at like in the first time we did it?
S Bubs is crunching numbers over there. 4. That's a lot of people.
It could be 5, but one of them is
Oh my
like I'm
gosh.
holding on hope, and that was my from the heart pick at the very start, so I'm not doing it. Okay, here are the 4 I'm dropping. I'm dropping Randy Orton.
Really?
I'm dropping Drew McIntyre. I'm
Okay.
dropping Lyra Valkyria,
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
I'm dropping Andrade.
Okay. Yeah, Lyra makes sense because she's done fucking nothing. She went with
No,
what
when Becky comes back, she'll get her that world title, and
that
she'll
or
main event all the shows.
that or if Becky's not on the main title picture, I could legitimately seeing them put them together as a team, to be honest, and do the whole like rookie because Lyra's the one that beat her in NXT, right? So I could
Yeah.
see doing the whole like we can't call her rookie, but mentor mentee. They had a couple of segments, and maybe whether it's Becky turns or Lyra turns, which could help. So I could see them actually doing that because I know there's rumors right now Becky coming back to Netflix at Raw, but I really don't know. Like I feel like everyone's working with the theory that sorry internet, I don't care what you say, it's gonna be Rhea and Liv at WrestleMania. I know everyone when Rhea came back, they're like, oh my god, it means we're not getting it. I'm telling you, the Rumble is only a few months away, and right now we got Survivor Series. Other than Saturday Night's main event, there's not like an actual WWE pay-per-view before Rumble, right?
No.
There's another Saturday night main event.
Yeah,
Rumor.
okay, but still, like that, I guess they could do it there, but I legitimately think Rhea's win that Rumble or Chamber, and she's versing Liv. So buckle up, people. I know people are done with the storyline, but I think that's happening. And then you got Tiffany and Charlotte. Everyone's like the working theory, right? And then Jade and Bianca. I really don't know where Becky would fit, so that's why I'm not gonna throw Trash told you, but that's my prediction. I feel like Becky could be with Lyra, but
And
why
I
Rand?
can say the other ones I was
Yeah,
thinking of dropping that I had at some point, but then plans have changed. So the other one I was
plans
considering
change.
was Johnny Gargano, but I
Yeah.
think with this whole developments going on, I think I'm gonna keep him.
Oh yeah, him and Chomp are gonna have like another best of 10, and then they're just gonna go back to they're
They
like
had like a Mania match, like 100%. I think
yeah, they're
so.
like regular wrestlers now, but then when they verse each other, they're gonna go back to taking like 10 finishers and kicking out and everything. So
And
like,
then the other one I was considering was Chelsea Green, but I'm keeping her just in
yeah,
case.
I wish you dropped her because I actually would have slid her in my jobber position because she still loses a lot. Like she gets the
Yeah.
occasional win, but she loses a lot. Why Randy? That's my question about like Drew. I understand, and I guess as Randy, are you hoping for a short term drop and pickup? Because I feel
I
like
don't
with
know. I
KO
feel
and
like with Randy, like he doesn't really win like that
that's
much.
fair.
And
Yeah.
also like my whole thing was like I thought KO was gonna like take him out at Crown Jewel and then
Mm.
I drop him. But then here I don't really know what he's doing. And if it's a possible short time drop, and I
Yeah.
would be mad at losing, especially who I want to pick up. I
Oh,
think I have
okay.
more upside from some of the like even just in terms of like wins.
Yeah, of
Like
course.
they
Yeah.
like I have people who win more than like Randy Orton in the since week 26, he had 2 matches. One where two
Really?
both where he lost, and one was on oh no, one where he lost and one where he won. So 3 points
Yeah.
over
That's fair.
7 weeks.
And he's a big promo guy. Like he's always in those type of segments. So
Yeah,
okay,
and
that's
you
fair.
compare
First time
that
I
to
heard it.
someone like Bailey over from week
Yes.
26 to week 33, she's on 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points.
She's in the double
So
digits there. Yeah.
yeah.
No, watch Randy fucking like beat him at like they do a triple threat and he beats Cody. Like just watch him do that now. But no, that's right. I'm still holding out hope they're doing Cody and like we'll talk about it. I feel like they gotta do Cody and Randy. We're getting too close to it now. I was wrong. I thought they're holding off, but we'll see. Okay, so who's your first pick? So you got 4 slots, but you only go round by round, so you get to pick one right now. Who's your or I guess are we gonna do our drops first to see who's on the table?
Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone
okay.
do their drops there.
So for me, I'm obviously I know Rhea and Seth. They're always they're always questionable. It's like an NFL draft roster, but I just know they're always going to be there for big moments and big wins and stuff. I'll talk about Seth later. So I like my whole roster. The only one I'm dropping right now because I really don't know what they're doing with them. I'm gonna drop Carmelo. He's somebody I could pick up along the way, but I thought especially after they made him like the #1 draft pick. I'm not saying he was gonna win Money in the Bank or be the number, like the world champ or anything. And I know he's been in matches and he's won some, but I just feel like now he's gonna cool off for a little bit until like Rumble, because I feel like they do want him to be the guy that beats LA Knight, but they have to hold off and give LA Knight a good reign, which I think the LA Knight reign is like I'm happy for him, but the fact we're already circling back to like
Gave him that pre-Rumble Nakamura feud like Cody
of course,
last
yeah, like,
year.
and that's what they're gonna do. Like, I could see them getting to Mania and doing Hayes and Knight there, and that's where Hayes get the win. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe eventually, but I still thought that Hayes would be just just more of a presence on SmackDown, like just something. But he just hasn't been. He's been working matches, him and Andrade killing it. But yeah, I'm gonna drop him. But that's the only one I'm dropping. I'm happy with Nia. I'm happy with Solo. Like Solo's overperformed. Like being a main event, he's like all this stuff. He's pinning Roman Reigns on pay-per-views. So like yeah, and everybody else, Jay, Braun Breaker. So there's only a few people that I would add over. Carmelo, and I guess worst case if they get picked, I'll just pick Carmelo back up, but I'll drop him to potentially
Okay.
get somebody.
Yeah.
So, David, is there anybody from your roster you're dropping?
Yeah, so I'm definitely dropping 3, and that
Okay,
would
whoa.
be yeah, so I'm going with dropping Uncle Howdy.
Yeah, that's a big. I respect the gamble because it could have worked out, but that's another thing. As people, you can join the wrestling, our GV Discord, and the wrestling Discord. I'll say the fact that the Halloween Monday Raw, they didn't even have a match for the Wyatts. Triple H, what are you doing? No confidence. Like that easiest booking. Like you can do all the Halloween gimmicks and the graphics.
Yeah.
Like they can fight with pumpkins. Like so easy. Like have them just beat Miz. Like I don't know and it's weird because like all the reports are like they push good merch. So I really don't know what they're doing with Wyatt 6 right now. I feel like Triple H is stuck. I don't know.
Yeah, so Uncle Howdy's getting dropped. R-Truth is getting dropped. And-
Truth. I mean, I think recently he hasn't done that much for you, but in the past he was getting some one pointers in there.
he had a great run, but now I think he's gonna fall
Okay.
back to backstage comedy segments.
I think,
and
yeah,
I'm
I
not-
agree.
not really gonna get any points off the backstage I mean, you're gonna be on TV every week, but you're not gonna be doing anything, so that does mean nothing.
Yeah.
And then Xavier Woods.
As your jobber, you're
Okay.
getting a new jobber. That might be smart with that the New Day tenure coming up. They might be getting some heat. So
Exactly. So I think with the New Day stuff, they're going to get heat up. They're going to make him look strong before they do the eventual big thing with him and Kofi. So
now is David gonna drop
I
him
think
as a
that
jobber,
should
and he's trying to
be-
get him as a regular guy now? Is that's what's going on here? Maybe.
yeah, you never know. So yeah, those are the 3 that I'm dropping.
I think that's gonna be the anniversary thing. I think is not this Monday, but next Monday.
soon,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah, because they said it's in November, and obviously this one pre-taped. It wasn't that episode, obviously.
And
So,
I think they'll do a big segment there one way or the other. I don't know if they're doing a fresh festival friendship turn thing. They always said they were never going to do a turn, so I thought this was going to be the most. I would love it for Biggie to come back and be back, but I don't know. Every time that guy speaks, I get depressed because he's just like, yeah, I don't know if I'll wrestle again. I'm doing my stem cell, but I keep going, and it's like, oh, I just want that pop there. So, all right, Espo, so you got 4 picks. So what's your first pick?
let me go here. Okay, so I'm going with this one. It's been building for a while, and I just had to take it. So I'm taking the newest member of the new Bloodline,
Fuck
Big
you.
Bronson Reed.
That's who I had.
Literally top of my list here.
Same.
Literally top of my
Yeah,
list.
Same for me. I had Reed because, like, him and Seth are doing one more match. He's gonna do. Did we establish for Rumble? Are we doing like 1 point for elimination? Did we establish that?
I haven't thought about it yet. I was thinking I had like multiple options for bonus points that we could do. I was thinking obviously if you're in the match, that's already 2 points.
Yeah.
But I was thinking maybe like just for some fun ones, we could do eliminations, or we could do like lucky numbers. Like we pick these numbers, and if it doesn't matter if you drafted that person, like if your number wins the Rumble, you get like some points.
I'm
or
down.
like
That's
that.
fun. That's a good draft lottery system.
Yeah.
I think even though it'd be 1 point, I'd still be down for eliminations for people. It might be a bit more number crunching, but I think it'd be fun because especially if you pick somebody that's like they
Just
get
goes on a rampage.
Yeah, they get the big red machine Kane push, and Reed could be that. So yeah, I was with you. I thought.
That was my no. I like you guys can't see it, but on this sheet on my page, I have people I want, and I've highlighted in colors like this is someone I need. This is someone, if someone else doesn't pick them, I can take them. These are ones I definitely want. These are options. I have like I'm like Tony Stark in the GIF where he has all the holograms and stuff.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go with my backup pick. I'm going with this one just because I feel like. Not sure about wins, but I might keep him because it might get me to some tag title glory. I'm going to get Jimmy Uso. I think he's going to be wrestling lots. He already wrestled solo in the main event. He's going to be main event in Survivor Series likely. I think there's a chance if they do him and Jay back together or something. Like I just think he's because like I said, Carmelo's got me some stuff, but when I look at Carmelo versus a Jimmy or like Bronson Reed, which I was looking at, it's like these guys are going to be on TV a lot more in matches, big storylines, potential main events. Like I said, I think Jimmy. I don't know if the dream match now of Jimmy versus JOD, like the Usos.
They're running it back at the.
No, not that one. The Usos versus JOD. I don't know if we're getting that, but I'm sure we're gonna get Usos and Machine Gun. So like, I think Jimmy's like a good safe. Like, barring injury, he's just gonna rack up points for me. He's on TV a lot, so yeah, going with Jimmy Uso. So I got some more Bloodline going on in the.
No Tongaloa.
No.
Save that for the jobber picks.
He doesn't even get in matches.
He doesn't.
He's just a manager.
This
so
man,
be a good pick.
Even last night during SmackDown, like he botched. Like he went to go slam Roman's head in the pole, but the idea is he goes to slam Roman, and Roman's gonna turn him. But he did the thing where he picked Roman's head, he goes to go it, and then he like redoes it, and then goes to slam him again. It's just like I don't understand. And like on the house shows, that fucking new finisher he's using, like the crowd is mild. It's just a clothesline. It's like 1, 2, 3, and it's just like it's just crazy. But all right, David, who's your first draft pick?
I am high risk, hopefully high reward. I'm going with the one, the only. I'm going to acknowledge him. I think Roman is going to have a little bit of a run, so I'm going to put some stock in that.
Okay.
He was on my list as a possible pick.
It's funny
because he was my big risk. So
yeah, because even when I was reading them down, I'm like, yeah, no one has Roman. It's odd, but this is a good time to pick him because you got Rumble coming up. I feel like there's always some breaks for Roman in between, but yeah, I'm happy that you picked him. I
want someone to have him at least.
Yes, and then again too, like if you were to take a lead or beat us or something, I wouldn't be mad because the risk paid off. Because I think there is potential for him to get some good stuff going on. So okay, Roman finally, the big dog is in the gimmick draft. So all right, S-Bubs, who's your second pick?
I think I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna go with one half of the current SmackDown Tag Team Champions. I'm going with Alex Shelley.
Okay. Is there a reason for Alex and not Chris?
From what I know, he's done more single stuff.
Yeah.
In case that comes to the thing. Or they've both done single stuff. But...
I was about to say Chris Sabin is a former TNA champion.
Isn't Shelley is 2 now?
I think they
Yeah.
both are.
They gave it to him. Yeah, I forgot that they gave it to him. So, I guess I
But
should.
yeah, I'm going with just Alex Shelley
Yeah,
for now, I'll say.
that's smart. There's a couple one-offs you could have with like Chomp and everything like
And
that.
I think
So,
they're getting matches, so
yeah.
I'm happy with that. And I feel like they'll be having at least SmackDown matches often, so that's
Oh
good
yeah,
good points.
yeah. I think so. All right, David. Number 2 for you.
Number 2 for me is going to be the returning Shinsuke Nakamura
Okay. In the regular role, not the Jobber role.
in the
Just
in the regular role.
okay. Just clearing up because there was a time Nakamura was he's taking quite a few losses, but
I have a feeling that they are going to do the chase is better than the championship deal with R-Truth. So I think that Nakamura could take it, put sorry, not R-Truth, LA Knight.
R-Truth winning the U.S. title. That's a
it's
scoop.
happened before. There's that
Yeah.
clip of him beating Nakamura accidentally. So
Yeah, Nakamura could beat LA Knight. They do the chase is better than the championship thing because, I mean, LA Knight is going to be over. So
Yeah.
he doesn't have to have the belt. He could be chasing for it. It could be a back and forth between them. And LA Knight will still have everything that he wants out of that.
for me, yeah, and I don't think they'll make him lose it, but you never know. But just because like that's been my problem so far is this like. There's like not many people for him left to face. I know that AJ Styles storyline went away, but still he'd already faced AJ, so I feel like the SmackDown like middle card needs some more. Just call up some NXT guys, fire him up, and have it. Because now what? He versed Umberto the other night. He's gonna verse Joaquin probably soon, and then he'll verse Carlos again, and then I don't know. It feels like there's just not much. Like he can't have. I imagine they're gonna run him and Logan Paul back one more time. I don't know, but all right. I suppose it's number 3 for you.
Well, I'll say I'll let David pick his jobber next
Okay, yeah, sure.
because I have 2 picks after that. So
Okay, so I almost decided to steal Carmelo as the jobber because Triple H hates black people, but allegedly. But I am going to go with Dirty Dom.
Okay,
okay.
okay. Yeah, I could like. He does.
There was
lose
a while
lot.
when I dropped him as my main guy is when he started getting wins and matches on TV, so I was mad. But
Yeah,
I
and
think
you could,
that's a good pick.
yeah, and you didn't have him
But I am
for
kind of
being
mad because
Damon.
like I have people. I'll say I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks and I have 2 picks. So I kind of wanted you guys to pick one of those people so I could decide because I want all these people.
Decision time. Yeah. And sorry, Dave, who was your pick again before your jobber pick with Dom? Who was it?
So I
It
had
was Nakamura.
yeah,
Nakamura,
Nakamura,
I'm just
and
updating
then
my list.
yeah, Roman Nakamura, now Dirty Dom.
No, I have it. Okay, so I suppose you got your 2 picks back to back. So decision time. You're gonna have to. It's up to you. We can't be the tiebreaker for you.
Yeah, I think for one of them, I'm gonna go with Mi Chin.
Oh,
I'm
you're.
finally picking her.
That's a hard. Well, I guess she does wrestle, but that's a hard pick for you. You're
Yeah.
hoping for good stuff with that U.S. title.
But I think I'm gonna balance that out because I have one more pick, and this one I don't think you guys are thinking of because we're still a long way away from the Rumble and stuff like that. But I'm gonna go with the greatest of all time, John Cena.
Okay, that's that. You know what? That's not a bad pickup to get right now. I'll laugh if they put him on just like a full losing streak the whole time. But you know what? Yeah, I didn't even think of Cena because let's see. Yeah, I guess, but the only word for you is what if he just works the Rumble and then it's a lot of promo and then he just does Chamber? Like, there's a chance. What if he
I mean,
doesn't
if he
wrestle?
wins one
Rumble
of
on
those, that's like
I
that's
know,
like
yeah.
50 points. So I'm okay with that. If he wins the Rumble or the Chamber and doesn't do any matches in
Yeah,
between, that's like triple the amount of points that anyone else gets me. So I'm
that's
okay with
true.
that.
Yeah, I wonder.
And he's gonna work like a tag where he runs and
Yeah, I feel like. eh,
I just wanted to get him before the Rumble, just in
Okay,
case.
so your picks are. Is there a reason why you picked him over Punk? Who I imagine Punk's gonna have a similar run, be it Chamber, Raw, Netflix. Rumble?
don't know. It was between them,
Mm-hmm.
but
Just
it
go with
was
the vibe.
close. I kind of wanted one of you guys to pick either one of them so I could decide, but
Yeah.
maybe next time you guys will think of that.
Yeah, I thought of Punk, but it's the same thing of like somehow I think if it's Cena or Punk, I think Cena's gonna wrestle more if I had to, because Punk doesn't wrestle that much anymore now.
Yeah,
You know
that
what I
was
mean?
my same thought process. I thought about Punk as well, but then I was like, he may come back, he may do one or two big events, but he's not going to be wrestling a lot. He's going to have 3 month builds to his matches or 2 month builds. Like it's not going to be. You're not going to see him on weekly TV. You may.
Actually, looking back at my list, there's one I wish I could change now, but it's fine.
That's fine. Save for the next time. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, and I don't think Punk's winning Chamber or Rumble unless they somehow hotshot the title onto him or Seth for Mania, but I don't think that's happening. And yeah, I do say I think if Cena goes for a world title, whether it's Gunther or whether it's Cody, I feel like it's better for him to have win the Rumble, because the Chamber, then it's just like you're going to know who he's picking. I think the Rumble would be fun to have like that intrigue of, oh, who's John Cena going to pick for
Yeah.
that. And again, I still think if it's not I guess we'll see. We'll talk about Rock in a bit, but yeah. So we got Survivor Series coming up. We'll see what happens there as far as the draft goes. But let me pull up some of the matches that are not. Is it technically? I guess because some spoilers. It's technically only 3 matches announced for Survivor Series. There's probably more, but right now there's like Gunther versus Damian Priest. I think for me, this is just they're gonna have another good match. I thought that
Double points, baby. Double points.
There you go. Unless there is no cash in. Damn it! I was hoping someone had men's money in the bank and take you out. But I think this is just for Gunther to get the clean win on Damian. I think they're gonna have a hard fought battle. They're probably gonna shake hands at the end, and he'll say something like, "You might be street trash, but you're a tough guy," or whatever. Like he'll like give him respect. But I think that's it. I just expect a good match and Gunther to win clean. Anyone else think anything differently on that one?
I agree. I think there's a chance of maybe another Finn interference to continue to this Gunther thinking that like he can't beat people clean anymore, and that leads to possibly a Cena match at Mania where he thinks like, oh, maybe I can't beat this guy.
Okay. Possibly. I wonder. They never really did. They did the Bad Blood match, but I think everyone thought there was going to be more to it, and they haven't done. I don't know. It's weird. Damien says
They're
he's
still
done.
like kind of building it a little bit with Finn now
Yeah.
in these backstage stuff, but
And Damien said he was done with Judgment Day, and then the next week he's wrestling Dom. So it's like I really don't know what the man's up to. But what about you, David? Here, any hot takes on this one?
No, I think it's going to be a straight up hard hitting banger. I think there is a chance that they could continue this Judgment Day stuff. I really hope they don't. I'm kind of waiting for that part of it to die down, but I mean, there's always a chance with that. But I just think it's going to be just a straight up hard hitting. All right, we're going to show you what we can do.
Yeah. And then the women's war games, I don't have even Wikipedia doesn't even have the competitors here. Because again, now we're going to get into minor spoilers, but it's not a big deal. But who is on the side for them both? I'm trying to find, because Wikipedia doesn't have.
I can name them for which ones?
The women.
The women.
Yeah.
I can start with so I guess spoilers for the
Yes.
people who haven't seen this, but the women's side is Bianca, Jade, Io, Naomi, and Rhea.
Naomi's such because I was watching SmackDown and because I think I missed last week's Raw and just saw highlights, but I was watching, which I like. Bailey's like, oh, you got to watch out for Io and everything like that, but Naomi's such a random pick for war games. I'm surprised she's there, but good for her, you know. Good,
And then the heel side is Nia, Raquel, Liv, Tiffany, and Candice.
Right. That's a very good for Candice. I feel like Candice is a fun one to put
That's
in
a
there.
speed title rub.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still going with my heart prediction that the babyface women win it because Tiffany cashes in on Nia mid-match, and then she gets the fuck out of that ring, and then they're down a woman. Like that, to me, that's the perfect scenario. Nia's hurt. She pins her. It's 5 versus 4. They lose. I just think again in a world where we've seen so many creative cash-ins with Money in the Banks where I won't say starting to run out, but there's not as many as you can do. Like even Damian cash in at WrestleMania, it's like okay, it's like a version of the Seth one, right? Where this is something completely. This would be a first timer. This would make Tiffany's cash in completely memorable versus it just on a SmackDown, on the Rumble, WrestleMania, like even WrestleMania, just having Damian. So I feel, barring it being in her hometown or something, I'm sticking with this. The cash in happens here. I hope they don't tease and not do it because I think the match will actually be good. I think it's all a bunch of good talent, but yeah, I think the babyface women get this, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be them. I do like the intrigue though of Tiffy cashing in the middle of it. That actually sounds like it could be a good thing. But this feels like, for the most part, it feels more of a display of the women that's going to be in the upcoming U.S. title hunt. So it's like, hey, here's a showing for them as well. Build some intrigue with that. So I think it'll be a solid one, but there's not that much build up to make it memorable other than the chance of Nia getting cashed in on and then a little bit more between Rhea and Liv Morgan.
This is old school, like WWE in the 2000s Survivor Series, where it's like, well, we just got to do a 5-on-5. So here's just the most random teams you'll see. Like if you look from 2004 to 2008, those Survivor Series tags, it is just so many random.
This is that one with DX where he's like, who was that? Was he on the other team?
Yeah, he's on my team. Yeah, so I think you get it there, and then I don't know who gets the pin combination. Like I'm trying to think. I guess if the internet gets its way and let's say they do Rhea and Liv at Saturday night's main event, and that's where Rhea gets her belt back. I could see them having Rhea pin Liv, and they use that as a story reason, like, well, she pinned the champ, so she gets a title match. But I really don't know who would get like the winning pin. And I'll take this back though. If there's no cash in, I actually think the heel ladies will win, and it'll be like Nia getting the win because I feel like, obviously we'll talk about the War Games, I think the babies are going to win there. So I'll say that's what I'll change my prediction to. If there's a cash in, babyfaces win. If there's not, heels get the win. Where are you? Oh, sorry, go ahead, Dave. You finished.
My only thing that does have me sort of excited about this storyline wise is I want to see who pins Bianca and or Jade. Like if either of them is eliminated, who's the one who gets the pin? Because there's no
elimination.
It's just one pin.
Yeah.
So I don't think if it's a baby faces, unfortunately Naomi would probably take that pin. She always takes the pin. So yeah, it's just the one pin. So it would be, and maybe we'll start to see. I guess not. Probably Rumble will be the cracks of Jade and Bianca. I think unless they want to be bold.
And they're on opposite sides in the tournament, so.
But they've done that before. They did that with Queen of the Ring. Yeah, and everyone thought, oh, this is what it's going to be. So I wonder if they tease it twice here. But I suppose, what about you at the Women's War Games?
I think the baby faces are going to win here. Because I feel just like the level in like kayfabe power level of one team versus the other is like, it's kind of like last year where you had like the Judgment Day, like including Dom and JD versus like Cody, Seth, Jay, Sammy, and Randy Orton. It's like, okay, I think one side's gonna win this year.
Yeah, okay. And then is there any other rumor matches, any matches I'm not thinking about that is before we get to the men's war game that is on the card right now? Because
not really.
Possibly Cody KO.
Yeah, rumors are saying that for the main event, the Saturday night's main event, which is, I guess. I wonder, could they do Randy and Kevin there maybe? If Randy's kayfabe okay?
That could be possible.
Because they never actually had a match at Crown Jewel. They just fought. They didn't have any, pins. So I wonder, could you do that as like, they've already done it too much this year, but I wonder if they could do that and like Cody's the special guest referee or something like that. Like I feel like they love doing that, but I'll say Randy and KO, but because they usually like 5 cards. Obviously the War Game matches are longer, but Yeah, it is weird that 2 weeks away and we only have the 3 matches. It's a little odd. So
Yeah.
yeah, and then Punk should be there, so he should be doing something, but I don't know. And then we got the men's war games. So we're gonna talk about two things here. So there's gonna be spoilers of who in there, and then we're also gonna talk about the Bloodline stuff. So obviously it's just as everyone's predicted since I don't know the day after WrestleMania, it's OG Bloodline versus original Bloodline, or no OG Bloodline versus new Bloodline. Started because Roman won the one-on-one match with Solo. He said no, and he countered him with this. The spoilers, which we'll get into some of my story, and obviously one is official. And I feel like once that's official, everyone knew who the other one was. Bronson Reed has joined the new Bloodline, and then on Raw, they're going to be naming Seth Rollins as the 5th member of the old Bloodline. So I'm gonna rant a little bit here, and then I'll give my predictions. I think this hasn't been bad, but I think all of it's been very rushed. And I remember we talked about this in the Discord when Jay, for me, Jay had one conversation with his brother who turned on him, cost him a championship, all this stuff, right? Had one like, hey, I'm not good with you guys yet, we'll see. And then the next week, he's smiling at him. So he'd forgiven, right? And then Roman has neither apologized to Jay, Jimmy, or Sammy, but they're all just cool. Like, it literally feels like the popular kid, like, ousted them out of their house, but the second he's like, yeah, you can come back in, they're like, oh, thank God, I hated it out here. Like, Sammy especially, because I thought, because as was the thing you said, like, oh, he might be the long-term one. I thought, oh, yeah, that could be. And my other problem is how it's all been incorporated. It's Solo talking, cutting a promo, and then it's Jay interrupting him saying, hey, I don't want any part of this. We're good. And then leaves. And then Sammy, same thing, having no part of this, but then come out because like, oh, I'm protecting Jay. All these people that say they didn't want to be back in the Bloodline or be a part of it, then just don't come into their segments. It's not like Solo went. It's always that person, Jay or Sammy, coming in, and then Solo comes in and he costs them or does something. And you're like, oh, of course they'd go back with Roman because these guys are assholes. But like with Jay, when he said he wanted nothing to do with this, why did it even come down and like shit talk to Solo? Like it made zero sense as far as there's other ways. Have Solo be the initiator, or even have him screw him. I don't care, but it feels the route they've taken with this is very odd. And even the Sammy one where Jimmy and Jay and Roman, they go back. They've been family for years, so I can kind of buy. Okay, think Jay was a little quick, but I can buy that. The Sammy thing, they fucking handcuffed his best friend. They beat him in front of his family. They beat Sammy in front of his family. Like they like completely turned on him and embarrassed him. Like the Rumble thing, everything, right? And it just really felt very easy for them all to get back together. So I just wish there was, and I know they didn't want to repeat it, but even the Sammy thing, I wish there was like a build up to like Survivor Series, like is he gonna be there, is he not? But it was literally 1 week of saying like I'll never be in the Bloodline, and then the next week he's throwing up the one, and it's the same thing. This is my problem too, is I don't think this should have been 5 people. I wish it was just the 4 versus 4, because I think there's tons of story of. Because when Seth said, hey, I'm never teaming with Roman again, I'm like, that should be it. They've tried this. They've broken it multiple times. It should be the next time they team up, it's done. And that to me is its own story. So for Seth to just be teaming up with Roman again, especially WrestleMania was already this year, it feels very quick. And I just feel like there's tons of... That could have been its own story. Like, I feel like the Bloodline is its one separate story, and then Seth and Roman is its own separate story you could pick up another time, whether they're versing each other, whether they do need to team together. It feels like they're kind of just blowing their load, and I just wonder if that's because it feels very much like John Cena's last few years when the first time they did Roman and Cena was like at No Mercy, like just a random. Everyone's like, why not SummerSlam or anything? It was just this October you're getting Roman and Cena, and it's like that's odd. And it was just because okay, we're gonna have Cena versus Nakamura, we're gonna have him versus Roman. They just started giving him all like the top talent because he was like on his way out. I don't know if Roman is, but it just feels like they're doing all like the Seth story, the Bloodline story. So the stuff in it is good. I like Sammy being back. I don't know what's going to happen after War Games because I'm predicting the babyfaces are going to win. Like, is the Bloodline just fully together now? Like, are they just always together? Is Sammy there? And then my last point is I think we'll get there, but I said this in the Discord last night. I was complaining about it. Like, Kevin Owens is like petrified about Cody team of Roman once, where Sammy is full on. He's wearing the red. He's calling himself Sammy Uso. He's throwing up the one. Like, if anything, like, he should be attacking Sammy as well. Like, Sammy was on SmackDown the week before, like, with them, and it just feels so odd that like Sammy hasn't even come up in his story, and it's so tied to Cody teamed with the Bloodline. So, if anything, if we had to have 5, I wish it was Cody on the original Bloodline because he's already done it, saved the Seth thing. I think it's going to be a really fun match. Obviously, I think everyone wanted Rock, and that didn't happen. I feel like that was the dream scenario. Even if you couldn't get someone on old Bloodline, you just have, the old Bloodline and Cody versus new Bloodline and The Rock. If they are doing Cody and Rock, you kind of have some teases there. Our last episode, we were talking about The Rock being back. Don't know why the fuck he came back other than he was just in town. Like, I feel bad for the crowd because you feel like, oh man, you're going to see this big moment. But he literally, like people said, The Rock, after they didn't even talk about The Rock being there. It was super, super odd, which I do got to bring up. I was at Costco today, and they have holiday editions for the Zoas. They have pictures.
Is it red ones, Zoas?
It's The Rock dressed as Santa, and I had to take a picture. I'm like, oh, we're doing the gimmick today. It's an omen. So I've liked the segments. Even last night with Bronson, actually looks like he kind of fits with the Bloodline. So I would actually be down if he's like their version of Sammy, of like, he's not family, but like he's a badass, so we'll keep him around. So it's not that the segments have been bad. They've been all good. The Sammy Rome one being like, oh, I think I love you. I just think that they should have started this a little earlier, and I think just some of the ways they've gone Jay and Sammy back in there. Even then, Sammy's like, I won't join the Bloodline until you apologize. Roman's still never apologized. He's not said, all he said is, I'm sorry I even waste my time with you. Like, it feels odd. At least Roman Reigns, I think he's emoting like, oh, I'm very, I'm more respectful of Sammy. Like, there's last night where he gave Sammy like a head nod to go do like a haluva dive and whatnot. Like, he's like, yeah, like he's filmed and everything. But so yeah, and I just think they win. They beat them in the 6-man tag. Roman took the pin. I think you have to have the OG Bloodline.
What do you think's the over under on a tsunami off the top of the cage?
I saw. I don't know if it was you that shared it or the Rikishi thing going around. Where
I think that was someone else. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Rikishi did that. I think it'll happen, but it has to be on a table. I think to break Bronson's fall because Bronson's a big dude. Now Rikishi did it without a table, but at least the table buckles it a bit. But I think I'll give it. I'll say 75% on the tsunami off the cage. So.
I could say too.
Yeah, I'm. They're gonna have to do a big spot with Bronson. I mean, you don't put him in there because honestly, it doesn't make sense except really to kind of help further the feud with him and the last participant on the OG Bloodline side. So between him and Seth, like that's really the only reason to have that going there to keep their storyline going. So you have to put him in there for a big spot. You have to have that memorable moment. No one else from other than let's see, Jacob Fatu doing something crazy.
Yeah.
Like those are your two big spot givers.
What do you think about? Do you think the new Bloodline or old Bloodlines winning, David? And what have you thought about the Bloodlines reunion story here?
I'm going old Bloodline. I'm hoping, praying, especially with the Roman pickup. I'm going old Bloodline. My only thing about everything that's been going on with them is it is starting to give me NWO feels. It is starting to give me NWO versus Wolfpack. Like I've seen this well before. Like I need you guys to wrap this up before it wears out its welcome. Do something with this soon because I'm not sure what your long-term plan is with this. And I'm not sure also how many more people you're going to bring in to dilute both teams.
I feel like it's this match, and then it's Roman and Solo, and then I feel like that. I guess they're gonna do Roman and Jacob too, because every few weeks they do that thing where they
The rumor when Roman was like coming back for this whole storyline is he wanted to do it to put over Jacob at some point.
Yeah, and I heard people floating that being we talked about that WrestleMania because the idea was Cody versus Rock and Roman versus Jacob, which I was like, is that big enough for Roman? But I guess if it's a thing that Roman wants to do, I could see it. And if that happens, I actually think they'd have Jacob beat Roman at Mania to give him like to fire him up. But I think that's I could see Roman and Solo happening at like another Saturday Night's main event. Like that December one. I could see that being the main event there. Roman gets the win, and then they're all in the Rumble, and then that's what I said though. With the long term, I just don't know. So what I could say, Usos they go for the title. Maybe we were talking about this Discord. Maybe it's Sammy and Kevin at Mania, and they build to that. So I guess everyone's trajectory they kind of have, but the same thing. Like if WrestleMania is Roman versus Jacob, Usos going for tag titles, and Sammy versus Kevin, are they still like the Bloodline together? Like is Sammy still rocking the stuff? I don't know.
And
That's
you
what I
got
don't
two
know.
more members who are on the way as well. So you've got Hakuleo who is signed, and then you've got another one of the
I
NOI
think that's gonna be
family.
the NXT Bloodline division right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
The-
please no.
the
Please,
training
please
or
no.
the if someone gets injured, we can call.
I
them
mean,
up.
on the because
Bloodline versus Chase U.
they did that like when the Bloodline invaded NXT like a
Right.
few, I think that was like 2 months ago or like a month ago or something like that, and that was pretty cool. People were saying like that's when people were like, because that was just the three without Solo, and they're like, wow, they actually look cool here. But I guess that's before people started liking Solo again in this run now.
Yeah, the internet goes back and forth with Solo. I will always say I think Solo's good. I think people shat him way too much for a couple of those matches where like I don't think they were that bad. I think they're just worked a different style. But like I think he can be good. I don't think he's like top guy. I know Rikishi's like I could see him beating Cody. I'm not.
You see that thing that Rikishi posted where he's like,
Kids should never talk disrespectful about their parents or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what did the
Yeah.
Usos do? What did they do? But yeah, no, I don't think that. But again, I think I've said before, like I see a solid IC or US title run coming for Solo next year, where he has like a good run and has some maybe bangers and stuff. But S-Bubs, what do you think about the Bloodline so far? The past, the present, the future going on with them right now?
I've liked this whole story so far. But I think the thing for me, since I wasn't really watching when it sort of started, when it was like at its
Of course,
peak,
yeah.
for me, I can't really critique like if I think it makes sense or not, because I really didn't watch that much of it. Like I've seen the recaps and stuff.
You were there
Watching
for
the
the downfall
recaps
of
isn't
Bloodline.
the week to week of it all. So, but I can see why people think it's rushed. But I've been enjoying it, and I
Mhm.
think it's a fun storyline.
What do you think happens after Survivor Series? Do they stay the Bloodline? Do they break up because Jay and Sammy just want to come back to help with this War Games and they're single people? What do you do with KO eventually? Like what do you do in the future stuff here?
I think they'll be like the Bloodline if I don't know, I don't think they'll be like coming out together at the start of every SmackDown,
Mm-hmm.
but I think they'll still have like backstage segments and stuff like that where they're just like talking.
And the other thing is, so like Sammy's on, but Sammy and Jay are both on Raw, which is fun. Like we're definitely in that close to WrestleMania
Yeah.
era, like age where it doesn't matter what brand you are, because like for weeks Sammy and Jay have been there, and there's not been like, oh yeah, we're gonna send 2 SmackDown guys to Raw, but yeah. And then I'm guessing you would think the old Bloodline's winning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody. There's because I just don't think. I don't know. I see no positivity for them losing. To me, it doesn't make sense. I do wonder what they do with because we never talked about this. When Seth came back, they had this weird segment where Jay came out and Seth like was not happy to see Jay, even though they were on the same side during WrestleMania Endgame, right? So like I am curious. I guess that's the only way I'd accept it. They never would. No, I won't say never, but Seth last week gave an interview where he's like, "Yeah, there's not many heels in our company right now. We need some good bad
He
guys."
joins the new Bloodline in the middle of the match.
I would love. That's exactly what I'm pitching. That's the
Becomes
only way.
the leader of the new Bloodline.
No, I'm not pitching that. Yeah, no. And then the Death Riders from AEW come out and they take over. They seize War Games. No, again, I've said this before. I wish Tony and Triple H could work together because the magnitude of if Moxley was
They
back
start
for 2 months.
cutting open the cage during the match and get in there.
Do you imagine like it would never? But imagine how hype that would be, and then for like the next AEW, like the Bloodline show up and just fucking destroy the entire roster. Like it'd be so fucking cool.
No,
but like,
Roman Reigns beating up evil Uno on Dynamite.
Oh yeah, and then Hook's throwing up the one and everything too. But no, like I would kill for them to do like a 2-month talent swap and have Moxley back in WWE just for 2 months, just because like with this stuff. But the back to the original point, that's the only way I would accept the OG Bloodline winning, and I think it would be great if they were about to win and Seth fucking stomped Roman and they got like the heat there, that would be great. So that's where I would fully take back why are Seth and Roman team together? I just feel like I don't know if they're gonna run it back, but remember what they did with Becky and Charlotte last year, where in real life they were not friends anymore, but now they're back to being friends, and they use that in the storyline where they had them, they're like pushing each other and they hug and they're like okay, like I feel like they're trying to run that back, and because it was successful, and I think there is, even if you did a Shield reunion of just Seth and Roman, fucking people always buy Shield shirts, like those shirts sold like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But like I would love it if Seth turned, and then we could have like Seth and Punk as like Seth can be the heel there, and I would like that, and then maybe we could get Seth away from some of the he's toned down the costumes a little bit, but he's still looking like a discount Joker.
I
At
don't wear a
times.
suit like Solo. He's out there leading the new. That's gonna be my Photoshop for this episode on the no context the gimmick. It's gonna
With
be Seth
Seth
leading the. I'll make
yeah.
that on the on 2K24 universe mode.
So I'm gonna give it I would 100% want it, but a 15% chance of it happening. David, what do you think of Seth actually turning Roman in this match, costing the Bloodline?
Oh, I'm gonna go lower. I'm gonna say it's probably a 10% chance. I doubt that they would do that. It doesn't make sense right now to do that. I mean, to us it makes sense because none of Seth being in here makes sense. So if you're gonna just cock this whole thing up, then here's one extra layer to it. But I don't think for where they're trying to go with this, I think Seth is going to just stick to him and Bronson and go from there. And I think that they're not going to do anything right now unless they are going to use this as a time to debut more members of the new Bloodline. They're not going to do anything to take away the win from Roman.
Yeah, but it should be such good full circle mania.
Now you said I wanted it to happen, but I don't think it will happen.
Yeah. It'd just be so good with the chair shot that happened, and like Roman, like imagine that Roman finally, and that could maybe make him like want to split up the Bloodline again because he finally like trusts Seth, and then Seth turns on him again, and he's okay. I can't trust anybody. Like I can't, other than the wise men, I can't trust my cousins. I can't trust Sammy, and he gets like goes to be like a lone wolf for a little bit. What about people have predicted? Do you think there's any chance? Because on SmackDown they tease the wise man. Is there any chance Paul is? And I'll include The Rock here because I've seen this theory which is so dumb.
Second phone.
Yeah, Roman tries to call Paul Heyman and says number out of service. So this is what's so funny in the wrestling world, right? You're telling me that Paul Heyman, his advisor, his wise man, one of his good friends, got brutalized, fucking brutalized, like in storyline, right? We haven't seen him in months, so we're to assume he's injured, really hurt. This is the first time Roman's called him. This is the first time he's checked on him. And that's why, in story, he should turn on. But it's just so funny in wrestling world when then people are like, yeah, but you know what phone he does have? He still has The Rock's phone. It's just like, you're telling me he didn't get a new phone for Roman? They didn't talk? It's like classic wrestling stuff, right? If like someone does something and like if they just watch the show, they'd know like, oh, my buddy turned like when they have Damien watching them on, right? And we said, oh, when Finn turned, like, oh, that's a good thing. Like, but in wrestling, it's always like the answer's right there, but they act like the show doesn't exist. Like WWE is a show within a show. Like it's a world within a world. It's not a real place. Like it's fucking awful. And it's just this thing where the same thing. It's like, you're telling me he never once checked on Paul Heyman. This is the first time he's tried to call him. Just number, not in service. I just laughed when I saw like, okay, it's just silly.
I can just imagine she's like, hey, buddy, how's it going? He's like, how the fuck do you think it's going?
Yeah, broken ribs for months. But that's what I was going to say. Is there any credence you guys think Paul Heyman turning on the OG Bloodline, working with The Rock? Do you guys think there's anything there that could happen?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, no, not. I think they're just keeping Paul off for now. Because I have a feeling that if it was a situation with Paul Heyman, he would pull like Kevin Owens did a couple of months back where something was going on and he was like, I watched the show back. I know exactly what happened.
Yeah. What about Rock? Is there a wild Rock appearance, David?
Ah, let's see. So Red One is coming out soon. So
It's
so we
out this
could
weekend. Yeah.
we could get some. I think it depends on how Red One opens up. If Red One opens up low, we're going to get a Rock appearance.
Mm-hmm.
If Red One opens up medium to expectations, then I think he's just going to sit and do stuff with that. But if it opens up low and he's got to, get his name back out there in a different view, or have it so that, whenever you search The Rock, you're not searching The Rock's movie just bombed. You're seeing The Rock surprise return at Survivor Series.
Yeah, that's a better thing. Yeah. All right, so let's see here. So we talked about the Bloodline. We talked about Saturday night's main event. That's rumored to be happening. Well, it is happening. Yeah, that's the rumored main event. Is Cody versus KO. I imagine Cody just beats him, and I will say it's been a couple times, but I know there was this report about WWE's really happy with Cody, that he's like the main guy. But I will say, I think there's still a little bit of a Cena Punk 2012 to 14 situation, or sorry, no, he left in 2013, 2011 to 2013 situation where since Roman's been back, it's been like a handful of times, like Crown Jewel, maybe one other SmackDown where Cody has closed the show. Like even last night, they had the women's main event, but then Roman's the last thing you see. So I'm looking out for my boy. I know he says he wants to be the quarterback and everything, but like I'm telling you, when Roman's around, you're not the quarterback still. Like that's the way they view it, and I hope that like even KO and him, just if they're not on the pay-per-view, who knows what happens, right? It could be KO and Randy. And Saturday night's main events, that's big, it's back, but it's like I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with Cody and Roman with going forward with Raw and Netflix. Like I do feel like you should maybe separate them, especially because Cody's not like in the Bloodline stuff. I understood then, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to count when Cody was with Roman. Of course, they closed lots of SmackDowns together, but I'm saying when they're separated, Cody in this story is very, I feel like it's still second fiddle, and it's all the Bloodline and stuff. So I think Cody and KO Saturday night's main event will be a good one. I'm excited for KO to just like completely wrestle like a madman and just like try to destroy him. And I'm not sure what's gonna happen there, but and then Saturday night's, I don't think there's anything else. Oh right, and then there's the Women's U.S. Championship. So I don't have. Where is it? I have the photo somewhere of the
The
tournament.
brackets.
Here, so. Yeah, I've got it right here.
Discord, yeah.
Okay. So let's see. What are the brackets?
So the bracket. Oh, so we had that first triple threat: Bailey, Candice LeRae, and B-Fab.
I thought B-Fab did pretty good there.
I did too.
I don't know when's the last time she wrestled a singles match in like 3 years.
Yeah.
Let's see. Bianca Belair, Chelsea Green, and Blair Davenport is in the second triple threat match.
Bianca is winning that, I think, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have a theory of where we're going with this.
Okay.
Jade Cargill, Meechin, and Piper Niven, and the third one.
That's what I was hoping for Meechin.
I think it's going to be Jade. And then Naomi, Tiffy Stratton, and Elektra Lopez in the final triple, and I'm thinking it's Naomi. So I'm thinking it's going to be Bailey, Bianca, Jade, and Naomi. And that's when you're going to have that tension of who's going to go on to the finals between. I don't think Jade and Bianca are going to meet in the finals.
Bailey Naomi as the final.
I could see
that whole
too.
Story. Yeah.
Yes, but they can use that to kind of set off a little bit of that tension between Bianca and Jade, but they never face in the finals. They both lose for whatever reason beforehand, especially since they're also the women's tag champions. You could have somebody who's going for the women's tag champion cost them in order to get a match with them. So you have many ways that you can make them lose, but I think having them in the final four is going to be what does it. But I think that they're going to give Bailey the championship at the end.
Really? Okay. I like too, because even on SmackDown they did a segment with all four of them, right? Because they're in this situation where Naomi's friends with Bailey and Sasha / Monet, but then she's friends with Jade and Bianca. So I like that she's kind of stuck in the middle. Obviously Monet's not going to be in the storyline, but I just mean like in real world we know, okay, those three are really tight. So that's good. Yeah, I didn't think about that because I thought you could have Tiffany and Jade beat Tiffany because Tiffany I think is a good enough worker to carry to a good match. But then like, is Naomi gonna beat Jade? Like, are they gonna do that? Because last time Jade, how she lost? Like, wasn't it like a DQ or counter or
Yeah, like
something?
Jade's daughter was in the front row and Nia
Right.
was like yelling at her, and then Jade just like hit her with a chair and it was a
Yeah.
DQ.
Right. So how do you get
So
to Jade? Because I think Naomi should win this thing. I want to be somebody because Bailey's already been like the first women's champion. You can argue she's gonna do the Cody Rhodes TNT Championship thing where you have a main eventer and that's elevating the title, but unfortunately, I don't think Naomi's winning one of those world titles anytime soon, but I think they should give her some first and actually show like, hey, she can't be the top of the card for the women, but she could be like that second top and she can be like a workhorse. So I'm hoping Naomi actually does get it, but how does she beat Jade? That's
I said it's going to be something crazy. Like I feel like someone who is wanting a shot at the women's tag team champions will come through and mess things up in that match, or just some way. I don't think Jade is going to straight up eat a pinfall. There's
no.
going to be
Yeah.
something in there. Even if it is a situation where Naomi wins that first match and then Tiffy comes back in her match with Jade and knocks out Naomi as in a you took me out, I'm gonna take you out, but that gives Naomi the win by disqualification.
Or even then, they haven't done the because like I said, I was behind on Raw. They haven't done the Liv Raquel tag title match, right? Or is that happening this week on Raw?
They did it this week.
Oh, I missed it. How was that? Was that all right, or was that
It ended with like everyone running out. Like it was like
okay?
Nia, then Tiffany, then Naomi, then Candice, then Io, and like they just like the ref didn't throw it out, but they were all just like fighting around at ringside. And
Did
then
and
I think they gave like I think Bianca gave Tiffany the KOD, and that's how it ended.
so that
Oh,
one,
oh no, gave. Oh, wait. Now I'm confusing myself. I
yeah,
need
because
to
they were
study
I saw
cage
they're doing a
match.
Liv Raquel one versus those two, and I wasn't
Oh
sure because
no, it was it was Bianca and Jade defeat Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. That was this week.
okay, who took the pin on that?
I assume. Oh wait, it was Liv. Yeah, I think it
Wow, Liv
was.
got a
I
pin
think
Liv.
Bianca
Okay.
beat Liv. Yeah.
Oh, geez, Louise, I'm
Let me
surprised.
just check just
Yeah,
in
yeah,
case.
yeah.
But
Okay, because I was curious about that one, but yeah, I just for the Raw was busy this week, so yeah, and I guess worst case you could do like a Jade rolls her up, or if you want to do the tensions, I'd love for some reason if like Bianca was at ringside or at commentary supporting them both, but in a backwards way does kind of distract or cost Jade the match, and that maybe starts Jade to think like, hey, I don't think I need you anymore. I don't know if this is working out anymore. So, but yeah, they got to get around that some way. So okay, so David, you think Bailey? I'm picking Naomi. S Bubs, I know your heart says Michin. Do you actually think Michin is gonna get it, or
I think I think there's a chance between Naomi and Bailey.
Mm-hmm. Those are the two. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bailey could get it. And then for Cody versus KO, do you guys have any theories, predictions, or thoughts on that for Saturday night's main event? Are you excited for it, or and have you liked the Kevin storyline so far? I'm enjoying it. I like him in his home videos, and he's pile driving
Yeah.
Randy Orton stuff. I like what they're doing with it so far. Like I said, I think there should be a couple next week. I was gonna say I would like it to main event, but I doubt it will. I think they'll do another Blood Games like Gang Wars segment to end it. So
Yeah, the Cody KO stuff has been good from the initial setup. I like how they set it up. I like how it's been that whole like you can stop and take perspective and go, Kevin's got some points here,
yeah.
type deal. So it's been good. And then I just think that those two together are just going to have an all-out great match. They're going to go balls to the wall.
Especially
Kevin's
with Kevin
going to
being
flip off
heel
of something.
Kevin. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's what's last time. I think they did a great job with the story of him holding back. But I think Kevin with this, I think it could end up being Cody's best match of the reign so far. I
Yeah.
really think.
This isn't going to be some 3 crossroads. We'll call it a day. This is going to be a hard fought, like I'm having to crawl over to the
5
pin type deal.
crossroads.
Yeah.
In a row. Yeah.
Yeah, I just looked it up and yeah, Liv took the pin to Bianca.
Really? Okay. So I wonder if that could be like on the road, just random challenger or something. Because I feel like Raquel would. I feel like if you have no plans, you'd have Raquel take that pin. Because like every week, everyone talks about how Raquel's the most like. I feel bad, like meaningless wrestler in the world. Last time they did that was like to Indy, and now fucking Indy got released, so that sucks. But like Raquel, it's just like, and I don't agree to that point. I agree there's some stuff that she definitely needs to improve on, but yeah, because like I feel like Raquel and Rhea are gonna probably do like a one off. Because before Rhea got hurt, she was doing like did the whole like NXT backstory promo of like you've always thought this and bad mouthing her. So that's what you with KO and Cody. Any how's Randy involved? Is he accidentally
Yeah,
punts
I don't
Cody?
really know because I was thinking like, yeah, he was gonna get taken out by KO at Crown Jewel, like if they actually had a match, and that's what would take him out for like a long time.
Hmm.
But now I don't really know how he fits into it, so I'll have to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
But I am excited for Cody versus KO. I wasn't like the biggest fan of the match they had at Bash in Berlin. I know some
Hmm.
people really loved it, but I think this one is going to be really good with
Yeah.
KO as the heel here.
Yeah. And again, with the Randy thing, I just feel like for me, maybe it's just was Cody being a good salesman because I was like, oh, it didn't sound like it's anytime soon. But I feel like the whole thing Randy said to start this program is like this thing with the bloodline's not a problem till it becomes like a problem for him. And Randy's the only one that's been getting okay, so I guess Cody got attacked by a bus, cool. But Randy's the one that's taken all the damage in this storyline. He's being squashed like Ken Owens is jumping off of stuff onto him. He's doing pile drivers and he's like injuring his neck. Like Cody's got none of this. And yeah, Cody's there to stand up for his friend, but there's only certain times. So I wonder. I don't know how they're gonna do it. And again, I think it does. I wonder if they're just doing the Randy stuff too as like a in case The Rock doesn't come, because there's always like even last year, right? It was like a game time thing. It was like the plan was Cody and Roman, and then Rock's like, well, I think I can make WrestleMania this year. It's the same thing. Like and I know Dave, since we did the show, Meltzer got a bunch of shit by saying, "Oh, he's not booked," and then Rock being like, "Oh, I don't know about that, brother." But like, Rock easily could just be like, "Yeah, I can't do it. Sorry." Like he's done that many times before. Like remember when a couple of years ago, Dave, they were gonna do Rock and Triple H again, and like 2 years in a
Yeah.
row, he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be there," and then it didn't happen. So that's the thing where the
Supposedly, according to The Rock, it was going to be him versus Roman at WrestleMania 39,
yeah.
and it didn't work out.
So that's the thing where there's like many times where Brock will just go away, and that's fine. Do what you got to do. Make Red 2, get those water bottles and everything. Drop some Zoas, some new flavors, but
Papa
maybe
Tui hair lotion.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I wonder if the Randy Orton stuff they're right now just planning of like a plan B, because I think that's an easy pivot, right? That's like a I think they could get enough juice for it to be a main event of one of the nights, because I feel like it's like Gunther and somebody. Even though I still feel like Gunther could like easily lose it in the chamber somehow. Like they could do that where he like takes a pin, but there's lots of shenanigans around. So I don't know. But anything else WWE specifically related to the next coming up a little bit? Anything events before we get into the theme songs and full gear?
Mm, I guess just a little. I guess it's still way ahead, but since they announced they're gonna announce like a second Saturday night's main event like
Mm-hmm.
before the Rumble. I think a lot of these matches that would usually end up like on the Raw before a PLE or the SmackDown before a PLE are gonna end up like on the Saturday night's main event like the week before the Rumble. So like on a bigger stage, but still they won't put it on the main show.
Mm-hmm. I agree, and I think that's a better out. It makes it feel bigger, and it is one of these things. Because sometimes, like, it's kind of crazy that they did the Sammy Gunther Raw match or the World Title match on Raw. Like that could have been. I know people were all over Triple H for Sammy's comments, like, "Oh, there's too much on the show," but I think they could have held it off to another pay per view or Saturday night's main event. So, like, yeah, like even Roman Solo, maybe that's too big, but you do that. Like Braun defending his title.
I feel like this
Um,
first one's definitely gonna be a big one, just because they want to
yes,
show that, and that's probably like the most viewers they'll have on a show
absolutely.
all year. That's not
Yeah.
because on NBC too,
Yeah.
just like the channel.
And the last time they brought it back for WrestleMania 23, same thing was like a big deal when they did the two main events versus each other, and they had like Stone Cold and JBL and like a beer thing, or I don't know. But like I hope they keep that energy up, because that's always happens to WWE. They make the first couple ones big, and they're like, oh right, we got Saturday Night's it's like fucking like what belt, whatever AEW.
Battle of the Belts.
Yeah, Battle of the Belts, right? Like it's like that, where before it's like, oh, huge matches, and it's like, now it's just like, who should Orange Cassidy
all
fight?
eliminator matches and ROH titles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what I feel like the pre-Rumble Saturday Night's main event could be. It could be a chance to get out your title matches and then have the Royal Rumble focus on the 2 Rumble matches. So then you can include some people who are champions in the Rumble without making it so obvious what's going on in the Rumble.
Mm-hmm. I was going to ask, because we talked about him in the draft too. There was all, which, I'm not going now, so I'm a little happy about, because I was so bummed when that original rumor of Gunther and Punk was happening in Vancouver, like 4 hours from me. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding. Like, Bloodline, that would have been, of course, cool to see, but like Punk and Gunther, like, man, I mean, missing that. But like, is that... do we think that's a Rumble, like, title match now? Do we think that's maybe off the books? Like, obviously, I think at some point we'll get Gunther and Punk, but do we get that in the foreseeable? Do we get that in, I'll say, WrestleMania season? That's what I'll say.
I think so.
Yes, because there's
think
a
that's
lot
why
of
they're resting
options.
them.
You have Saturday Night's main event. You have the Rumble. You have the other Saturday Night's main event. You have Raw Netflix premiere. That could be a possibility.
Yeah, that, to me, like I that's one I expect them to just make it fully like a pay-per-view, and they should. Like I think, I can't remember what the latest rumor was with Cena. It sounded like, oh no, it was the Punk stuff, right? I think Abu said like the plans for Punk to do a lot of tags.
Yeah.
I think maybe he'll get that. I still think it's a mistake that I wish they would just do Punk and Cena. I think that's such a huge selling point, like the final time. And it doesn't really matter who wins or loses that. They'll be completely fine. But yeah, you could do Punk versus Gunther on that show, really. But I'm still going to put my money on they save it for the Rumble. And
Yeah.
I think they're going to have a title change on the first Raw on Netflix. I don't know who, but a title change.
I think Punk Gunther is definitely Rumble, and because I think if you're not going to have either of those, the way that the last 2 Rumbles have gone, if either of those aren't winning the Rumble, you don't put them in the Rumble.
Yeah,
have them do a standalone title match. No matter who wins, you're going to send 50% of the crowd home happy. People love Gunther, people love Punk, so it's going to be a good match. But if they're just going to be in there to be towards the end again and not win, you're going to have 2015 on your hands again. Unless
you have, I don't know for sure, but let's say you got Cena in the match, you got Rock in the match. That is a reason to put Punk in there, because like you think about those moments of like, imagine everyone's floored and it's Punk and Rock staring each other down. Because I think they'll do Punk and Cena. I don't think you're gonna get Punk and Rock again in the ring.
No, because like, Rock's hands aren't large enough to box with God. He doesn't want nothing from the punker. Yeah,
but that's where you could do a mini like moment there, right, and have that there. And I still wonder too of like if there would be a chance if Punk would beat Gunther. I don't think so, but I still feel like there's part of me that feels like Triple H is so stubborn in a good way sometimes, where last year he wanted Seth Punk world title main event, and it's like you could do it. Like you could even like, I still think people would accept Gunther versus Cena at Mania with no title. Like if it was just like a guy trying to knock off a legend. They already did that with Theory and Solo, and that was fine. Like Gunther is definitely going to give you a better Cena match, and I think like that's an aura match right there. Cena taking those chops for 15 minutes, like that's going to be something that he hits an AA and it's over. But I'm going to say there's still a chance with, if Punk and Gunther happens at Rumble, I think there's a chance. Do they really want to put that title on Punk though? That's for too much. That's, if they put the title on Punk, he never wrestles until WrestleMania. That's my prediction. Yeah. He is promo city. Like there's nothing like, yeah. I'm just curious what they're gonna, because I think Seth and Punk's happening. It's just a question, do they want the main event or not? And I feel like Seth, like I'm fine if they do main event. Like what, like if they get the title back on, because Seth did so much shit last year for them and everything. He destroyed his knee. Like I don't know. So that's why I ask you guys. If Punk and Gunther happens, who's winning? I'm gonna say hot take. I don't even want to say Punk, but I'm gonna be a contrarian. I'm gonna say they're gonna put him on Punk. They're gonna give him a 2-month run, and they see those ratings every time he's on Raw. It fucking pops. They know it. So I'm gonna say Punk's gonna beat Gunther Rumble. That's what I'm saying.
I can see that. could see Punk beat Gunther at Rumble, and then he headlines one of the nights of WrestleMania. You can lose it then.
Yeah.
It's fine. He's
Absolutely.
got his headline. You crown somebody new, even if it is Gunther getting it back in the main event of one of those nights of WrestleMania. But you have that moment. I'm
What
all
if
for
it's
that.
Seth though? Because you said someone new. What if it's just Seth just beating Punk for the title? Because
You know
Seth's
what?
winning that match. I'm sorry. There's
Yeah.
no way Triple H's boy is taking the 3 count to Punk. In my opinion, there's no way. They're all good now. Bygones be bygones. But Triple H the whole time has been like, yeah, and Seth over Punk, like 100%.
I'll allow it because I liked Seth's World Heavyweight title run. I absolutely loved his World Heavyweight title run. He like that was since his Architect days. That has been one of his best runs.
Yeah. Or maybe they just make him a transitional champion too, because it's like he could have it for a month. Maybe, hey, maybe that's who Cena beats. He beats Seth Rollins. They run back the 2015 feud, and, because if like Cena were to beat Seth, like Seth's not gonna get hurt by it, right? It's like okay, whatever. But what about you, S Bubs? If Punk and Gunther happens, who's taking it?
If Punk and Gunther happens, I think Punk could win it, and I agree. If after that point Punk and Seth happens, and Seth is 100% winning it.
Yeah, I just could not imagine everything Seth does for the company. Punk's left, and night one ending with like
You're
Punk
tapping out to
over.
Punk.
Yeah, you're gonna anaconda vice. Oh, I'm gonna pass out, right? Like no, like you're tapping fast. Like the second he puts on, you're you're tapping. And he's like, oh, I guess I'm gonna become Tyler Black in AEW. So, all right, let's do these. Let's do these.
Oh, we
these,
didn't really talk about Becky supposedly coming back.
Right. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit. I still think.
Oh yeah, I think we
yeah.
did, yeah.
I just don't know what. Good for her. That'd be big for Raw, like Netflix, and I think they got to make that show. Like I said, my prediction is she gets in because if Bianca and Jade are split up, they have to do something with those tag titles because they're always on fucking life support. So that's my pitch is Becky and Lyra making a team. You eventually can split them off too. But I guess you could do some triple threats, right? Like you could have like Charlotte, Tiffany, and Becky, or like. You could always do. It would make a lot of storyline sense of doing Rhea, Becky, and Liv because Becky was intertwined in the beginning of that story, right? Of that's who Liv beat, and then Becky never beat Rhea, so she could have that chip on her shoulder. So I actually could see them doing Rhea, Becky, and Liv, and Rhea getting that's the final win. Because again, as I've mentioned, why people think that feud's gonna be over, Rhea's still not gone to do the fucking. What is it called again? Her pump handle slam. What is it? The Riptide.
Riptide,
She's
yeah.
not done it at Dom yet. I'm telling you, that is the pop. So that's why this feud is not over until she Riptides the Dirty Dom. So, yeah, I guess you could do that. Do you have any fancy booking, I suppose, for Becky?
For Becky,
Turns on Seth, helps Punk win at WrestleMania. They gotta do a big kiss over his body. They're like, no, trust me, the people are gonna love it.
and that's after he that's what gets him to tap out.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm just excited for her to come back. I think it's like I think it's gonna be good for Raw to just have her back and just be able to work with anyone pretty much and put her with anyone, and that'll be a good feud. So yeah, I do see the tag team idea. I think that could be good. But then also like Triple H, I don't think he books these tag team breakup stuff for like a long while. But I did mention this somewhere. It wasn't on here. It was on Twitter. I was talking to someone and I was thinking like if they're doing, because I'm assuming already that next year it's going to be Clash at the Castle Ireland. Could you have like Lyra versus Becky there? After
Maybe that's
they
where you
break
do the whole
up
thing.
from
Yeah, you do
yeah.
the breakup and somehow Becky or Lyra gets the title. I don't know. You always got Money in the Bank, right? So that could be a way there. But yeah, I could see them doing something there. Even if it's not the main, I could see them doing like the mid card match, right? Even if it's just like a grudge match. So
Yeah.
what about you, Dave? You got any ideas for Becky when she comes back?
Well, originally I just wanted to have her back, but now that you mentioned her turning on Seth, I kind of want to see. I want to see AJ Lee, Daniel Bryan, the kiss before the match, and then he turns around right into a GTS. Boom, 1, 2, 3, it's done.
God. I'll say
as the main event of WrestleMania.
yeah, 10
The internet
seconds.
would explode.
You have Punk and no, you have Cena and Gunther go as the co-main for like 45 minutes, and everyone's like, "Wow, how long is Punk versus Seth gonna be? This is
Yeah.
it's so late already."
I will say part of my Punk prediction is not the Seth being turned on by Becky thing. I still think I hope the money is Seth and Becky versus AJ and Punk. I hope that's another thing down the line. I think there's AJ Lee again. Hopefully she's just actually healthy, but she's sitting on just like bags and bags of return money and matchups. There's so much for her to do, but I actually legitimately think we might not get it. I think that might be a pipe dream now.
If they weren't going to put them on different shows, I would love for her to return at the same time that Charlotte does, because that would just be a big money, just banger match. They're going to draw money. People want to see that steal.
Or have them as they could be the team. Like they've never done the takedowns. They
was
could do a
thinking
2 women's
that,
power
yeah.
trip and just like even if they were heels, imagine if they were just like running like Triple H Austin 01, just running roughshod over the roster. I'd fucking love that. That would be awesome. That'd be really good. Yeah.
So that would be what I'd want for Becky. Like if you're bringing her back, you're taking away from her kid, putting her back on the road. I want to see her every week in a shining spot.
Yeah, it's probably her choice. Sounds like she's like a duck, like they're taking her away. Sorry, Rue. I hope you enjoyed your time with your mom, but it's over.
Kids old enough, leave them at home.
Yeah, she's got to go kiss CM Punk now at WrestleMania. Good luck. Oh, man. All right. Top 10 themes. S-Bubs, let's start with you. Give me some honorable mentions in your top 10. And honestly, is your top 10 like in a particular order, or is it just all?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can. Well, no, I sort of have them in a particular order, but they're all pretty close. For some honorable mentions here, I'll go. I have Mac Militant, which is Teddy Long's theme song.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That's a banger. I have this one is the one that was like I actually really like this song. It's just Spotlight by Fozzy. This is the Learning Trees theme song that he uses right now. Because if you listen to the lyrics, it's like a very delusional heel theme song.
Yeah.
Like he's saying like he's the light and like he's gonna save everyone and stuff like that. I've Taken It All, which is Solo Sikoa's theme song.
Oh, that's
now.
a banger. I remember because I remember that plays, and Gwen was like, "Why are you singing that song? We don't like him. He's a bad guy." I'm like, "Yeah, we don't, but like, it's a good song. It's a good gym one. I put it on there. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
I
good
have Generation of Jade, which is Cora Jade's current theme song, which I think is really good. Because her original one was like a very it's like it feels very much like a Tony Hawk type soundtrack song, like a skateboarding song, and then the heel version is like a metal version of it, which I think is a really good one. And then the other two, these are very close to being like my number 10 pick, but they're pretty much tied, and I didn't put either of them in my top 10, which is I Walk Alone, Batista, and Metalingus for Edge.
Yeah.
Those are very close. But yeah, those are my honorable mentions. I don't know if you guys had some.
Yeah, I got. You got it, Dave.
I was about to say I've got some. I've got 4. So here's the thing though, like all of mine aren't just WWE. Well, when it comes to my honorable mentions, my main ones are, but my honorable mentions, I decided to dip outside. So honorable mention number 1, just because to this day it just gives me great memories of a couple of years ago, Glorious Bobby Roode. The image of him coming down in the entire arena singing it, like that was some peak stuff. AJ Styles, TNA Ready to Fly / Evil Ways.
Oh, that was a good one.
When he comes out with Evil Ways and he's got the hood down, then he pops it up to rate it. That was just great. Okada's theme music from New Japan with the Rainmaker, and you can hear the money coming down. I mean, his entrances with that was always great. And my final honorable mention is because this song, even before I got into wrestling, I always just loved this song. It just makes me smile for some unknown reason. But Final Countdown. So Daniel Bryan, and so when he uses it now, it gives it that big fight feel. Yeah. So those are my honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what is it? There's one I forgot in my honorable mentions, but I got Cena's in there. I didn't put it in my top 10, but like, it's a classic. I got the original Y2J Jericho one. I like that. I do got Nakamura's because obviously Nakamura, he's been on a roll, but when that music hit at first, it was like, oh great. Batista as well. And then the two that I got in there that are just like themes, no music, is Stone Cold and Kurt Angle's. I don't know why, but Kurt's especially, I'll hum that to myself constantly, like in my life, just like dun 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 dun, dun. Like I just like I picture Kurt when he's doing that thing and he's like he jumps in the middle of the ring and yeah, Stone Cold specifically. I'm a fan of it. I know lots of people aren't, but I loved the Disturbed version. I love the Disturbed heel one, but yeah, there's quite a bit of other ones. It was a hard list to make, but yeah, I'm happy enough with my list. So.
Also, another honorable mention just to this whole. I love the WWF Aggression album with like
Yeah,
the
that's good.
covers. Just like
Yes.
honorable mention to like all those songs because I
Yeah.
listen to those a ton.
Do
I
you
used
ever
to have
listen?
those albums.
And did you ever? I don't know if Dave remembers what it is, but I suppose have you seen the album in 0304 where they had a bunch of wrestlers sing?
Oh
And
yeah,
yeah, like that's what.
I there's the one I have on my place. I have like the Rey Mysterio one where
Yeah.
he's singing it. I like
Oh
that one.
god. Yeah. Fuck. I can't remember what it was.
I
Uh,
can look it up.
oh, across the border, yeah, and he's like
Yeah,
Mexico, and he
yeah.
just randomly is like iguana, like he'll just say stuff in the. And my favorite too is because some of them had them for themes for a bit. Booker T had the 1, 2, 3, can you dig it? And like lots of them
The
had.
WWF aggression ones, there's some you can look it up on YouTube. Some people actually use them for like a little bit. It's very grainy footage. I think
Yeah,
like DX actually used the Run DMX
for like a
version
couple of
of
them,
it. Yeah.
yeah,
And
and
the
like
Rock used the his version of it too.
And I
Uh,
think there's on one of those albums, Jericho had like the Saliva King of the World song. And I think that he used it like for a show or two. And then because he used to call himself the King of the World, but then they dropped it, just went back to the
Yeah.
Y2J theme.
The one where they sing their themes is just the album's just called WW Originals.
Right.
yeah,
Originals. That's what it
Yeah.
was. Yeah. And
yeah.
then, oh, good.
That was a good one because it had Kurt Angle's "I Don't Suck" on there,
Right. Yes. That was a good one. And that,
Basic
go ahead.
Thugonomics is on that
Yes,
too.
it
On
was.
the
And then John
WWE
got his full
original.
album. But
which I own.
Basic
Yeah.
Thugonomics, that's
Shout
another
out to
good.
the whole album too. The
So
John
good.
Cena
Yeah,
album,
I
so
own it too
good.
somewhere. Yeah, based on notes is really good theme too. But and like it's not like a great thing to bring up, but like it sucks. But like I fucking love Benoit's theme back in the day. Like Our Lady of Peace, like that. Fuck, it was such a banger, and it had like a good entrance theme where it has them coming out, but then after the match you have like emotional beats to it. Oh man, so. All right, who do you, S-Bubs, give us your list. You can just give us the full list, and we'll go person by
Okay,
person.
let's go here. At number 10, I have I Fell, which is Darby Allin's
Oh
AEW
yeah, that's a
theme.
good one. Yeah,
Yeah, I really like that one. At number 9, I have Voices,
yeah,
Randy Orton.
yeah.
Uh,
What's the other
Burn
one
in
that I
My
hate? Yeah,
Light.
Burn My Light. I love that's the honorable mention for me. I rocked the shit out of Burn My. Anytime in '04 when I had like a creator wrestler in those games, I was giving him Burn in My Light. Sorry, Randy, it's a banger. You're wrong. You're wrong.
Okay, then I have, I guess this would be number 8, just the D-Generation X theme.
Yeah,
It's just
good
really
pick.
good.
Yeah.
After that, I have Love, Fury, Passion, Energy, Lita's theme.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it
Man.
was
Yeah,
really good. They have Sexy Boy, Shawn Michaels
yeah,
up there.
it's a good one. Yeah.
Then this would be number 5, Stone Cold, Disturbed theme. At
Yes,
number 5.
absolutely. I love it. Yeah, I love that one.
Number 4. This is all of these 4 I love, but the NWO Wolfpack theme, just so good.
Dun, dun, dun.
Then number 3, Roland, Limp Bizkit.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
respect you for putting that one. That's good, especially the entrances we got out of it
The
too. Yeah,
WrestleMania entrance, the live entrance is so good.
Cody's
It was
favorite
just so
band,
funny
Limp
to
Bizkit.
me.
Yeah,
Number 2, Cult of Personality.
yeah,
And then number 1, The Time Is Now, John Cena.
nice. Yeah, yeah, I respect it. That's good picks. All right, David, what do you got for your 10?
All right, number 10 is Nakamura, but specifically when he has the violin entrance.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yes. Number 9 is the Undertaker's theme because it's so iconic. Like you knew it was coming. Number 8 is the Hardy Boys because as growing up I liked them, and then when they returned at WrestleMania in Orlando, the pop that I had, I was like literally on the phone with the girl that I was dating at the time, and I remember talking to her. I'm like, yeah, just sitting here watching WrestleMania, and then like I heard their music hit. I was like, I gotta go. I just hung up on her. She's texting me like, is everything all right? And I'm like, Hardy Boys just returned. And she's like, the books? I'm like, you don't get it. Number 7 is Cody's theme, Kingdom, because just that feeling of the crowd with the woes, like it's a good thing.
I'll add an honorable mention to Smoke and Mirrors, like the second version of it.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
that
you got a couple because you got you're talking about like the darker one, right?
No, there's like one that's called Smoke and Mirrors V2, which is just like a remix. It's when he had like the all white gear and the IC title and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's just like a different, it's like a sped up
version.
version of but yeah, the when he's the other one's just called like Smoke and Mirrors Ugly is the one where it's all slow.
There's technically 3 versions because
there's
there's
the original,
one,
the remix, and then the dark one.
Which I think was
the
like
dark one is
down
when he
show.
had the mask on.
Yeah,
The sequel.
version when he has the whole white and he was like back to like off the mask. That was a classic like gym workout playlist. Which was good. Yeah.
Number 6 is CM Punk, because I mean you hear that opening riff on like of Cult of Personality and you just get hyped. Like you know it's coming, you get hyped. Number 5 is Goldberg, because that is just
enough,
I mean it's iconic. And you hear it and you start envisioning the security knocking on the locker room door, the slow walkout, everything else.
Goldberg giving himself CTE in the game.
That would explain a lot about current Goldberg now, remembering all this.
I don't believe in CTE. Just do it, Bill. It's fine.
So number 4 is Edge's Metalingus again. Yeah. You hear the "You Think You Know Me" and you just get pumped. I have the image of him at WrestleMania when he's doing it in front of Tropicana Field, like you see the whole sky lit up behind him as he's doing it. Like that's just awesome. Number 3, John Cena. Like it's iconic at this point. It's something that the casual wrestling fan, you play it and they're like, that's John Cena.
That's probably the first theme I knew. I remember when I was a kid, like in elementary school, there was like we'd always download like extensions on Chrome just to get like weird stuff on our school computers. And one of them was like a soundboard, and I would just spam that John Cena theme at school on my computer.
Number 2 is DX's theme. I'm middle school, walking around doing the DX crop chop. It was at one point my music on MySpace, for all of us old enough to know what that is. Like it's one of those things, like you hear it, the way that like they overlaid it at the time. Like for me, that was so groundbreaking how they overlaid the sound waves with the crowd pop and everything else. Like that was just
and now
amazing.
They do it at all the live shows. Like if you're in the crowd, they do the DX cam
and everything.
So and number 1 is Stone Cold Steve Austin, because that glass breaks and you are just ready to go. And if anything reinforced that for me, it was him versus Kevin Owens. Again, glass breaks and you just, everyone, AT&T Stadium, you're losing your shit. You're like, this is it. That's Stone Cold. I remember every WrestleMania I've watched him walk out on. Just that entire feeling of that glass breaking and him coming out will forever, as a wrestling fan, live in my mind.
Yeah. No, you guys almost convinced me to put up there, but I'm sticking on it. But it's good. Like the glass break, everything. No, it's good stuff. So, all right. So same thing, kind of like David. I gotta have Undertaker's theme in there to be a little bit different because I like the classic like slow walk up, but the Ministry theme, man. I love. They go hard in that thing. At one point in the choir, it's like, like they're just like in the middle of the song. It's like it gets very big. So I'm a big fan of that. Taker, was my favorite wrestler for years. So I got that. Number 9, no honorable mentions and no in top 10s, but for me, Triple H, once Motorhead hits, time to play a game, man. I get fucking hyped. I'm ready to go. And that's like, even when I saw SmackDown Live a couple in September,
yeah, he was there. Yeah.
he was there, and I've given him shit every time because I'm always like, why does he need to come up for all this stuff? I don't like to be out there, but every time big event, Triple H is there, right? But when you're live and that guitar riff hits, you're like, oh fuck, it's built the business pick up, and just to all like obviously matching with the spin and everything, it's like an iconic thing. So with
I like the King of Kings theme too. I think that one's
that's
really
a good
good.
one. Yeah, so Motorhead, shout out to Motorhead, good stuff. Yeah, I also got Sean on there because Sexy Boys, just that's a classic. Hum it to myself, and then just to round it all out at 7 there, DX as well because and same thing. I they're kind of in there, but I didn't have like a for sure order other than maybe the few top ones. But what is that? That's 10, 9, 10, 9, 8. So okay, yeah, okay. So number 6, I'm putting in some. I didn't know. Yeah, we just said theme, so I'm getting some New Japan in here. I love Omega's Devils in the Sky because it's something.
Oh yeah,
and again, I've always said this. Like, I would love to have Roman Reigns a couple years ago, and then New Japan, Kenny Omega main eventer, or like the aura those two would have. And I will fully admit this. Like, Kenny in AEW is great. He's my favorite guy right now. But there is something whenever he's in Japan, it's like he's a different fucking person. I don't know what it is. Like, he just comes off as like there's something there, and that music helps too because it has this build up and it just the sounds it makes. So I love that. And I like his current theme, but Devil in the Sky is badass.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, there's an assassin on his way
and
here.
as a Final Fantasy fan, like I love the homage to it, and I'm really hoping that when he returns at the Tokyo Dome this year, he uses that.
He's gotta. So I hope that happens. Number 5, I also got Cody's as well. Cody's, even originally when I heard it, I was like, I don't know about this. Like, I just felt it was like I won't
When
say
you go
try
back and listen to clips of it now without people doing the whoa, it sounds weird.
Yeah, and like I'm not saying it was like try hard or whiny, but like the whole story, it just felt like, I don't know. I wasn't even when Cody did his hair at first, I was like, I don't know if this is the right call, but eventually it all worked once he like fully found the character. Yeah, with the crowd, obviously huge thing.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he was stuck with it.
I liked it when he first started it, but mainly because as he was doing it, Brandy was also doing his intro with the Rosette group, like all of that, the star that left him in the dust. Like, she had that whole intro for it, so that going into the music played a whole lot more than when he came to New Japan and she didn't do the entrance, but he just had the music. I was kind of like, it's all right, it's missing something. But now that he's fully formed the character and he's got the woe and everything else, the timing of the pyro, it just works.
And I think what also didn't work for me is like, I don't think it's a good song for a heel, which that's when he got that song. He was a heel for those first few years, and I don't think it even when if he switches at some point, I imagine he will. He says he won't, but like I think it's gonna come at some time. I think you got to kill that theme. You can't have it. It's like when Jericho was popular, like the Fozzy thing, right? It just it counterproductive. So that's why at the beginning when he came out, he's supposed to be like American Nightmare, you're supposed to hate me. It's like this theme feels like it's a hero's theme, and that's what Cody wanted to be, really, was a hero, right? So number 4, I love that we have a variation of it nowadays, but I still love the original. Hollywood Rock, my God, the build up and just like
the new version is going to be an honorable mention for me.
Yeah, I love I love like the dawn, like the lightning, everything, but and just like, it's come again, and then just like, and I love when you listen to the actual song. It's like the first minute and a half, it's just like helicopter noise, and it's like,
the whisper.
Yeah, the whisper is my favorite. I can't remember what he said. I think he's like, it's come again. Like,
he says it's cooking.
Yeah, right. Cooking.
The name of the song is just "Is Cooking."
Yeah, and it's so mellow, but like it's Jim Johnson ripping on the guitar in the middle there, and like I love it. Like, if I was a wrestler, man, like I'd kill for a theme like that because it just feels that's like Hollywood Rock had such a cool aura. Final Boss is a different aura, but that entrance and when he'd come out, I love rock themes in general, but specifically Hollywood Rock. But yeah, Final Boss one is also good too. Number 3, I got Eddie Guerrero, man. I like the Viva La Raza. I remember when I hadn't been watching for a while, and I watched Damian Priest versus Bad Bunny, and I was watching it live. I fully did not think Eddie Guerrero was alive, but I did not know the LWO was using the song star of Viva La Raza. So for a second, when that music
You
hit,
thought he's coming out.
I was like, when people thought Moxley was coming out of WrestleMania.
I've seen clips of like WrestleMania 39. Like I always watch this like audience footage, and like when Ray did the Eddie entrance, there's people like I think there's like all the comments are like for a split second I thought he was coming out.
And it was, and when I hear that Viva La Raza, and it's just because especially when he was like a baby face, when he beat Brock and he had that run, he was my favorite. I loved it. Like he's in my top 10. Like all a bunch of stuff, charisma, everything. But even the entrance, he had the low bright, and it had such a good party energy. There is the cool version that's slowed down, and there's like there's a cell phone. It's like, can you feel the heat? And it's just like, there's like other rap in it too.
Yeah,
but like
that one's not as good.
Yeah, it's not as good, but like that it has like a special place in my heart, the Viva La Raza one. So I love that. I'm with Chavo. I hate that the LWO has it because I keep hearing it and I just like, but at the same time, okay, well at least it takes me back and hopefully some fans listen and go, oh, who was that? So, and then these two have been mentioned, but they're higher up for me. So I got number 2, Cult of Personality. Love that song, good one. You guys spoke about it, and then I got Metalingus up at top. It just when that hits, I think it's so good. I think it's the perfect song for he's had many returns, this man, or like debuts, but it's the perfect just like you think you know me, and it like has a good delay, and every time he comes up with the pyro, specifically when he came back at that Rumble, it just has such a huge epic feel, and I'm glad he did get to use an AEW because it is that type of theme where it's like.
You were there at a Wrestle Dream, right?
I was, yeah. It was great, and like I don't think any other music, like half. Okay, no, that's too much. A good percentage of Edge's hype before it builds up is that theme and him getting there. And he's smart, like he chose it, he builds his entrance around it, but it gets you going. And I think anytime even there's a city situation, like Edge has to come out and make a "We Love AEW" speech, you're still like, oh man, that theme, it's a great theme, So yeah, I love it. But speaking of AEW, our final topic, we'll do some of these predictions here. For AW, which I didn't even know who the fucking Big Boom AJ guy was. Like literally, like it's like an internet meme that I get whoever he was didn't know who he was, but then because he's in AEW, it's all over my timeline, everything like that. So let's see, we got MGF versus Roderick Strong, very strange matchup. I don't know why Adam Cole is not in this, why it's not a triple threat. You got Jay White versus Hangman Adam Page. You got Private Party in some big tag team match. You got Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander. You got Swerve versus Bobby Lashley. Jack Perry versus Daniel Garcia. Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. And then Moxley versus Orange Cassidy. What's standing out to you in this card, David? And what have you thought about the... Since we did the show, we all knew it was going to happen, but he beat Brian. Now they're not the BCC. They're the Death Riders. What have you thought about AEW since, what Wrestle Dream of 2024 and this Death Rider story and some of these other matches happening?
So the Death Rider story, I do want to know where it goes. I don't see exactly where their endpoint is going to be. I'm guessing it's going to be Death Riders versus the Elite is what we're slowly building up to.
Oh, brother, don't say that.
It's not what I want, and it's not. I don't want the direction of any of this. Like I really don't know. And then the weird subplot going on with Wheeler Yuta and I'm my own man. No, you're not. Type deal. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of weird and convoluted, and I'm not sure where they're going with this. Props to Mox. He's been holding AEW down at various points. He has been their ace. He has been what people talk about Tanahashi was with New Japan when it took its lull, and he was the one who was carrying it through. That is what Mox has been at this point. He has been the workhorse of AEW. So
He's the ace,
full,
you know.
yeah, full props to him. But I don't know where this is going. I don't see Orange Cassidy winning this. He's going to put on a good match, of course. I mean, this would have been something a couple of years ago, more when Orange Cassidy was still doing his "I'm lazy, but I'll turn it on." But now Orange Cassidy's at a point where every match, he's going to turn it on. So
He already
there's
did
not.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
They tried to do that storyline too, where they're like, "Orange, you got to help us," and he was just like, "No, I don't think so." And it was like, that's fine, but it felt very out of nowhere. That like, why is Orange like not wanting to, until they killed Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson? He was like, okay, maybe I gotta help, but like before he's like, oh, I don't really know, but yeah, and they did the story of him becoming the workhorse, not with only the title, but like with Moxley, like they had that match where he like matured him in a sense, right? Like he made him become more of a wrestler's guy. So I guess it's just like to end the trilogy. And my maybe prediction is Orange Cassidy has some time off and they just want to kill him off too. Like that's what I'm predicting is they're gonna do this because Orange, like I can't remember the last time Orange was not on AWTV for an extended amount of time. Like he's a consistent guy, so I could legitimately see he has vacation time and like, oh, perfect, have Moxley just eat him up and I don't know, break his foot and then he can come back.
He's off of TV for a while instead of just having him in the background. He's fully off TV. I mean that could be a deal. Like I said, we know John Moxley's winning. When it comes to the TBS Women's Championship, I'm not invested in this match whatsoever. I could care absolutely less about Mercedes Moné and Chris Statlander. Like there is nothing about this that makes me. Their backstage segments have been horrible. Nothing about this is just screaming, I want to see this. This is going to make me feel something. And for the fact that as it stands right now, this is the only women's match on the card and I don't feel anything for it, is a problem.
I think I can't remember what the stat was. It was something like AW. I think it was last week had like 5 hours of content, only 20 minutes of women's wrestling.
It was 5 hours with 10 minutes of women's wrestling, and then it was WWE had like over an hour.
Yeah, and like it's Monet, you can't say the quotes of like, "Oh, we've made it better," and yet and that's I'm not putting that on her. That's on everybody. Like they got lots of good people, just because like Britt Baker has been not doing the greatest lately. Like there's tons of people on that roster. I think the only reason I'm excited is because like I actually think this could end up being a really good match for Monet. I think she needs a banger match. All her matches lately have been like meh, bad, or fine, and I know she can do better than that. So I agree with you with the backstage stuff, but I do think Statlander can. I think with her size, they can do something good. For me, Statlander kind of leveled up after that match with Willow, even though I hate that they, turn her babyface and the Stokely thing's done. I know they keep trying to say, oh yeah, we just got together to take down Willow. I'm like, that's
but never on TV.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they've ever mentioned it on TV at all.
It's dumb. You guys screwed it up, stupid,
But the fact that there's 8 main show matches, 9 if you include the AJ QT Marshall match on the 0 hour, but there's 9 matches and you only have 1 women's match and it's been a poorly built one at that is a problem that they need to address. I mean, now as far as the TNT Championship, Jack Perry, Daniel Garcia, that's the only one where I'm just like, you know what, this could be a good time for a title change. You could put Daniel Garcia in that spot. This is perfect timing. Hangman and Jay White, I just think these two are going to have an absolute banger, and I am here for it. Hangman has been on point. I'm looking to see premium New Japan version of Jay White, and I'm all here for it. Bobby Lashley's in-ring debut with Swerve Strickland, I think they'll have a great match. I think both of those guys want to put on a good match. Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. I mean, it's Will Ospreay. He is the best thing in wrestling right now, at least until Kenny Omega returns. So, of course, he's going to have a good match. And MJF, Roderick Strong. I'm confused as to why they didn't keep this with the triple threat match. I don't know where the story is going to go from here unless they're saving Adam Cole for something bigger. And then you've got the tag team match. I don't think it's the right time to take the belts off a Private Party
they've worked so hard for
I
this.
would hope not.
You just anointed them.
First month, just back to somebody else.
Yeah, I know people really like the Outrunners, but I don't see them winning. Then you've got the Kings of Black.
Phone. Just
And
call them House of Black. Just call them House
Yeah.
of Black. Stop with these middle name, like these separate group names for within the group.
yeah, that's kind of how I feel in New Japan with the Bullet Club when they have all their offsets, and I'm just like, you're all Bullet Club. I'm not doing this House of Torture. I'm not doing all this other the War Dogs. You're all Bullet Club. I don't know who the fourth team is going to be,
It's
but I don't.
Acclaimed.
Okay, yeah. So I don't think you. I still don't think you take it off Private Party right now.
No, I think with Private Party they're going to do like the workhorse champs because that was the whole thing. The Bucks didn't defend them, so I think you're just going to see Private Party like every 2 weeks defend. They'll put on a good match. They always do. MJF versus Roderick Strong. I don't know why they are doing this. Like I like Roddy, but I think we all agreed that hey, Adam Cole MJF that might be long in the tooth, but as long as they paid off at Full Gear, sure. Like that was like they didn't get to finish the feud. Let's do it. I'm very over the whole. I hate the MJF. Oh, I won't verse you. It's like it's like the Seth American team with Roman. Then look what's happening. MJF like you're never getting me in the ring. You know what? But if you beat
I feel
three
like it's
guys,
gonna happen at World's End for the full
to
year.
full circle it. Fuck
Yeah.
my life. But like for MJF, big, I'm never wrestling him. Then like, oh, you know what? If you beat 3 guys, and in storyline, Adam Cole is known as a good wrestler. He's won championships in the company. So to be like, it'd be different. It's like you got to win 3 handicap matches. 3 like it's not like it's not even. It's just like you got to beat. I don't know, just a wrestler, right? It's like, okay, and I'm at least happy they didn't have him beat Takeshita because they have Takeshita like heated up right now. When I saw that, I was like, oh man, they're gonna have fucking Adam Cole hit that big knee and Takeshita. It's like, no, I'm so glad because like I'm a Takeshita mark. So in that aspect, I'm glad, but it's very odd. I get what they're doing. They're gonna build up to Undisputed Era getting back together, and yeah, sure, I'm all down. Like it was a great run NXT, but I just hope they have a vision for it and not just, hey, these guys were a group, let's put them back together, because that could scream TNA. Jay White and Adam Page, I know they'll have a great match. It also just feels like they have no idea what to do with these guys, though. Like, because they already did this last pay-per-view. I'm going to assume Adam Page has to get his win back because Jay beat him last time. I already spoke on Monet and Chris. I'm excited from the technical standpoint, but I agree the women's booking's been abysmal. Like, where's Mariah May? I wasn't on the hate
She's
bandwagon.
having a live champagne celebration with Mina on the show, probably on the pre-show because that was the last time at All Out. She did the exact same thing. It was like, oh, I'm gonna have a celebration, and then she says and says, oh, I'm not gonna do it, and then Aminata attacked her, and then they had a match on like I think it was Dynamite.
And that's the problem. That's the thing I give them credit for, and that's where I push back when people said, "Oh, the rumors like Tony doesn't like long-term booking." Like, there's part of that's true, part of that could be, but they did that with Tony Mariah. But it's like they're like, "Okay," and like we got the final chapter. Mariah becomes this piece of shit heel, hits her own mother, beats Tony as a champ, but then they never figure out like the after that. And I think the problem is they're just waiting. Like she's gonna turn on Mina, and that will be fun, and then Tony will be back, and we're just back into that. So it just feels like she's been treading. It feels very much like what the Bloodline was doing before Roman got back, right? Of just like, okay, what can we do just to fill time until we get the OTC versus new trial chief? It's like, okay, what can we do with Mariah? And really not much. Like Anna Jay, like she's a better wrestler now. She did some good stuff in New Japan, but it's like there's no story there. Mariah's just been like absent from. I guess she could be on Collision and stuff because I don't get to watch as much. But again, the brand split is probably needed there.
She's like on Collision with like vignettes and stuff like that.
Yeah, and yeah,
there was one recently that was like it was going around because the opening line was her saying that she hates women's wrestling, and she said she hates it because no one's as good as her.
That's what I hate is that she's like, and she chose to go to AW, so it's fine because she liked that story too. But like, I think she's very talented. She should be getting lots of screen time. But alas, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But I'm sure she could all.
My thing is just you've got so many women on the roster. So you've got Mariah May, you've got Harley Cameron, who's been hot right now. You've got Deonna Purrazzo. You've got a returning Jamie Hayter. You've got all these things you've been doing for Julia Hart's return. Like you have so many options.
Jamie Hayter 4-minute matches every month.
Yeah, Jamie Hayter is my second favorite behind Rhea, and like I'm ready for her to go to the Fed. I'm ready for her contract to be up and her to go to NXT, because at this point, which is very odd, because she was like a case where it wasn't even meant for her to get as popular and over as she did. It's just the crowd was so behind her when she was like Britt's bodyguard and they put the title on her. It sucks that she got injured because that like killed the momentum, but like I just feel like, I guess they're pairing her with Julia Hart, it seems like, right? Because she was doing a promo, and then that's when Julia Hart's promo interrupted her. And Julia Hart, too, like another great proved person. But yeah, with Hayter, I've been super disappointed in the booking with her because I felt like they were going to like at least have her. But again, when the women don't get that much, it's just like there's so little time for them. So,
But I mean, so you got Jamie Hayter returning. She's been hot. You got Deonna Purrazzo, who's from New Jersey, where this is going to be. I mean, you can throw a second women's match on here just to, and that one will get the crowd going. Like, it doesn't have to be for any stakes or anything. Again, you've got Mariah May. You've got so many options here, and you're just not displaying all these incredible female wrestlers. Like, you've got a good crop of female wrestlers, and this is the one match you want to go with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Swerve and Bobby should be interesting. I'm not like the biggest Bobby Lashley fan, so like I'm not like jonesing to see this, but I think Bobby will get the win here somehow. Jack Perry versus Daniel, I think there's like a chance it could be like the sleeper of the night. I could see them having good chemistry. I could also see it being just like an all right match, but there's some there, and I think Garcia will get his big moment. I think Ospreay's losing because they got his other partner, Mark Davis. He's going to turn on him. And I don't know what they're going to do with him. And then, yeah, with the Moxley stuff, I've been a fan of this storyline. I think specifically the things I like the most is the Uter stuff. I thought last week, or whoever had this idea, I loved when they booked the whole they were going to break Yuta's neck. And then Orange Cassidy came up for the save, and then Yuta turned on him. I thought that was fucking really cool. So that's where it's like, I think so far, comparing on the Elite Takeover storyline, this is a better version. But I agree, if it leads to Kenny coming back with the like, I will completely be, not turned, but I was like this. I'll be non-vested because
the Bucks will come back and say they need to restore the feeling and make AEW where the best wrestle, and that they need to stop the Death Riders.
And we did this a couple years ago. Obviously it wasn't for the AEW company, but it was just these two groups don't like each other. BCC and the Elite, they have all these issues, fight, and they had the great series, great finale. Like, I was very happy with everything they did. I wish they did a few more single matches. Like the fact we still have never got Kenny versus Claudio, a crime. My eyes have yet to see this. But I hope it's, to me, it shouldn't be. I hope it's the young guys. I hope it's Garcia, Cassidy, whatever, even if they want to turn Jack Perry something, Perry's fine. But like, I don't want to be those guys coming back. I want, even when Omega gets back, I want him to be doing his own thing. And I could see, I'm fine them doing Omega and Moxley. That's as far as I'll go there. But the rest of the stuff, I don't want the Elite and Omega reforming right now in this sense. And I like the storyline. I think they got to be careful because, of course, people getting lost shit this week when they're like, Moxley sees his TBS and it's just like a promo. So like, I get they're being cute, but they got to be careful. And I think there's sometimes they shouldn't even preview Moxley. He should be like a outside entity that just interrupts the show. But there's stuff like, I fucking love that they keep the title in a briefcase. Like, we haven't seen the title in weeks. I love that. So there's stuff in this storyline that I really like. I just have to see how it kind of ends up. But I like the old guard versus the new guard. He's trying to like, tough love them into like evolving. And Moxley's always great cutting promos. So far I'm liking it. It hasn't been like a knockout every week, but I like the Uter stuff a lot. And I like Claudio and Yuta's dynamic. And I kind of hope we get a match. I don't know if it's a pay-per-view match, but I would love it if Yuta makes a turn and in this wake we get Moxley and Yuta. Yuta shouldn't beat him. It'll be Darby, who every week keeps popping out of somewhere. I appreciate it's from the roof. This time he came out of the crowd. But so far, I do like the Death Riders storyline overall. I'm invested where there's not a lot of other storylines right now in AEW. I'm currently invested. Will Ospreay and Kyle, we've kind of been here, done that before. I don't care about his Hurt Syndicate like bowling Prince Nana and like trying to get Swerve. Like, I'm more looking forward to when we get back and Swerve and Hangman to finish that off. So the main story in AEW I'm interested in. The rest is kind of just around. So I'm excited for the new year. I think they're going to do kind of like a refresh soon. So
I would love to see a situation where Mox in this persona he has now, like you were saying, don't advertise him like that whole taking over TBS thing. Don't advertise him. So have just a match between two people. One that's just like, okay, this is just a filling time match. have the Death Riders come out, beat up everyone in the ring, and then he cuts his "we're taking over" promo.
Take the TV time.
Yeah, it's not.
That's what they did. That's what they did at first, like
Yeah.
with the private party thing.
Yeah,
'Cause they
and
were
now they're
having a
being
match with
advertised.
someone, and then they just came out of the crowd and just beat
Yeah.
everyone up and destroyed
And that
them.
was good because they continued that story because for a couple weeks, Private Party then started to keep attacking them, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, and then they got the tag title, so it made sense of, okay, they're not the biggest tag team, but still, it's someone for like, hey, screw you guys, we're gonna come at you, and it gives them some fodder. So it feels weird for them to like advertise it, but I get it. They want to like. Moxley, I don't know what he does ratings wise, but at least some people might tune in more to that versus something else. So
Yeah, but the whole next up, we'll hear from John Moxley, and then it's just this CDO we're taking over. Like this wasn't planned type deal. No, let them come out. You just have a random match, and they just interrupt, clear the ring, and like, yo, we're reminding you this is our show.
Or even like with the seizing TBS station, a superstation, right? He just comes out and does a promo. I'd love it if he came out there and they got a chair and sat down. He's like, the show's not gonna like continue until someone gets out of the ring. Like, he didn't seize the superstation. He just came out and talked. Like, do stuff like that where it's like, hey,
I think they were just trying to go like more and more over the top with the
I know,
graphics.
because people are joking about the memes.
Because the
right?
first
Yeah.
one was like, it was just like Mox takes Chicago or whatever, and then they were just, and they even used like the old TVS logo. Just because,
Absolutely,
like,
yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, that's what was rendered so much as far as like, I'm fine with the graphic because I saw a lot of people be like, oh, they fucking disappoint us. But I just mean,
false advertising.
yeah, I
lawsuit.
just mean like, and I'm fine with it, but just do something other than just a promo at least. You know, like do something to be a little bit different. But I still like that they leave in the truck. And again this week they left without Yuta. They got in the truck and they started to drive away, which I love the shot. Fucking Darby just jumps in the back of the truck, and they stop. But like they were gonna leave without Yuta, so I'm a big Yuta fan. I loved how he got in the BCC. I love it. So I feel like that is a key storyline at some point. So I like that he's really at the bottom. Like you shared that, Espos. Like I laughed a big time at that clip when he's like, no one tells me what to do, and Claudia's like, shut up, and then he shuts up. Like I love that they've gaslit him to joining this group of like, hey, be with us and you can be like above everyone else, but he's still like the bottom of the totem pole, right? Like he's the bitch boy. He's like the bag boy for them, you know, and like that he's gonna have to snap. And I do appreciate that he's still just stealing Brian's move sets. Like he's doing all his finishes and everything. I'm like, this is little stuff that I enjoy. So yeah, and I think overall the show should be like good. I'm not expecting this to be the pay-per-view of the year. If I think it's gonna be like a B tier one, which could be good. But yeah, S-Bubs, any thoughts on any of this stuff?
No, I mean, there's some of these matches I'm not really that interested in. Like you guys said, like the Roddy MJF thing is just like weird.
Yeah,
It's just like that feels like a very AEW thing to do. It's like, yeah, they're gonna have a great match, but like, why is this really happening?
and I don't buy that Roddy like it just felt like Adam Cole and MJF every time they've been on screen, like when one's injured, it's like there's still some illusion there. It didn't feel like the whole time Roddy's like, oh man, when MJF gets back, I can't fucking wait to get a piece of him. It's like he just feels like a little brother, like, oh yeah, I want to fight him too. Like it's odd.
Also, on the Ospreay Kyle Fletcher thing, I'd have to remember what the exact wording of the promo, but Kyle Fletcher was saying like he cut his hair and stuff, and like he doesn't want to be anything like Ospreay, or like he's showing that he's nothing like Ospreay. And then at some other point in the promo, he said like, I turned on Ospreay because Ospreay did the same thing to these people in New Japan. And then Ospreay, when he returns, like, if you're not trying to be like me, why are you copying like exactly what I do? So I thought that was a funny thing, but
yeah. And they'll have a good they'll have the classic 6-star Tokyo Dome match for matches. And they will have a good one. I like Fletcher enough so far. I think he needs to, I guess, shaving the head's one thing, but build some other character elsewhere. No Takeshita on this card though. Big down. Big down.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is it for this month's episode of The Gimmick. The next one, I'm not sure. Let's see, when's the next? I know we'll plan it out, and I'll still be editing and everything like that. Because it's going to be a weird thing, because you'll have at World's End, but then Rumble's not. When's Saturday Night Main Event? Because maybe that'll be
it's
around
like
the time.
somewhere in December. I'm not sure.
because we'll obviously plan it before
December 14th.
Okay, so probably
Not
try.
that
We'll
far away. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably try to plan around there, so then we're not too close to the Christmas season for you guys and everything, because that also will get harder planned. So, yeah, maybe we'll do that. We'll see what's planned, whether it's a predictions or a review there and everything like that. But yes, no, this is always fun. I'm gonna miss this for the next little bit here, but I'll be listening. I'll be excited. And I'll be rooting for my new pick, Jimmy Uso, to take me to the top in the draft. You know, I'm hoping, but. Yeah, no, I'm excited to be a listener and see what happens. And you guys got a lot of big stuff that'll be happening next little bit. Even the War Games thing, I'll be mad to not cover that. Hopefully it's all good stuff. But yeah, no, we'll be obviously in the wrestling Discord too. So if you want to join that, we'll be there. But yeah, no, it'll be a good time. You guys got anything to say before we head on out of here?
Not really. I guess I'm going to NXT again this Tuesday.
Oh,
so
nice.
hopefully get a good show there.
Yeah, that's nice. That's cool. I just can regularly go. That's
Well, it's my birthday this week, so that's why I'm able to go there.
nice. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm excited about the upcoming wrestling card. Wrestling is starting to WWE has been booking themselves pretty good lately, and I'm excited to see where it goes, especially with this turn to Netflix. So once they go to there, despite what people think about last night's infuriation with Netflix, I think they will be able to handle the streaming that is coming up for them. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about New Japan has some good stuff already coming together with their Wrestle Kingdom card and
and I'm excited for the night after too. That's starting to be a good card.
instead
too,
of doing the 2-night Wrestle Kingdom, now they have the back to just January 4th, and then they're doing the second
crossover
night.
show.
Yeah, with the
Wrestle
crossover show.
Dynasty.
Yeah, so
Dynasty,
I'm
yeah.
excited about that.
My boy
you know.
Kenny's on his way back. I'm excited. Like he said, he's playing coy and be like, "Well, I don't know," but I think there's no reason he doesn't go there and then like get beat up backstage. Like I think that he's January 5th. I cannot wait. Like that's gonna be a religious appointment in this household to see Kenny Omega back in the ring. Watch him just be completely washed though now because he almost died. But I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because the man fucking like could have left us. So I'll just be happy to get anything from Kenny Omega now.
The way that he was talking about New Japan, I don't think he would have agreed to do that unless he knew he was in the shape to do that. Because the way he was talking with people saying, why aren't you doing this with AEW? And he's like, I would not be where I am without New Japan. People wouldn't know my name without New Japan. I owe them everything. I think that he's going to give them a good show.
I agree with that, but then the other half of that answer, he's like, "Yeah, and I just don't feel like AEW needs me right now." I'm like, "No, brother, like AEW needs you more than fucking ever right now." Like again, I'm not somebody that's turned on the product of like I'm not. I love lately, I suppose you've just been always using the Eric Bischoff memes. I'm not at that point. I think people are super hyperbolic about how bad it is, but like I said, I've agreed that hey, there's some stuff that needs lots of improvement, and like I said, I love the Death Rider stuff going on, but other than like you always get great wrestling, I'm not invested elsewhere. Kenny usually, unless he's paired with Jericho, can get you invested in his storylines and obviously his matches. So
Even I, in that interview, Kenny said like doing that promo with Jericho. That's when he realized something was wrong with him, and that's when he went to the hospital like the day after.
It's a legendary bad promo, but it's like no, like
it's a sad one looking back, but it's just
Yes.
like it is so bad. Everyone is just like Ricky Starks and Big Bill are like, what is going on here?
Yeah. We can laugh at it now because he's
Now he's okay.
all right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it seems like he's okay. But like, yeah, looking at it now, it's just like it's a mess. But yeah, it's like no, like the AW definitely needs you, man. They could use a Kenny Omega back on the card. So, but yeah, so I hope when I come back to the Gimmick, he will be fully back there, and I'll be excited. So yes, thank you as always for listening. Be back in December to cover some stuff, and it won't be boring. Take care, everyone.